everyone, to the Nerd TV broadcast for the Full Throttle Sim Racing League for the Mach1 Performance Cup Series, hosted by Nerd TV every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight we're at Worldwide for the simulated Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. There in Madison, Illinois, and this track's a lot hotter than we saw it on Wednesday. We saw temperatures down to like 80, 90 degrees. Tonight, we're at 116 degrees on the track surface, 90 degrees in the skies. So, really hot day here at Gateway. For being at Illinois, too. You don't usually see that kind of weather, at least this time of year to my knowledge. But I think I know someone who knows a little bit more about the Illinois weather than I do. And he's over on my right-hand side of your screen, Mr. Dustin Loxton, a.k.a. Ballistic. How you doing tonight?
Oh, not too bad. Kind of interested to see exactly how this racing is going to take effect. Like you said, very hot track tonight, and I think that's going to play a little bit of a factor, especially for that treacherous turn one. I heard you put it best before that this is it's like Darlington only backwards. So instead of 1 and 2 being your wide gaping corners and 3 and 4 your tight ones, now 1 and 2 are your tight ones and 3 and 4 is your wide ones. I can see this really playing heavy, especially if a lot of drivers tend to overdrive it into that turn one, sending it in full sail a little too much. It's going to be real slick and real slippery.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. If they could match the energy level and the excitement that yesterday brought in the actual Cup Series for NASCAR, I'm all for it. Had some entertainment with Ross Chastain and Denny Hamlin and even Chase a little bit. And then the driving, we saw 4 wide yesterday. We saw a bunch of 3 wide. We saw essentially slide jobs entering turn number 1 because there's a lot of braking. If you dive it in low enough in 1, you can overshoot the guy because the middle line is actually preferred in the middle of the race in turn 1 and 2. So you see a lot of different strategies and things involved that can make this race entertaining. These Cup cars have not been here ever. So Sunday was the first time we got to see that. And then tonight you're going to see that here on iRacing for the Full Throttle Sim Racing League. And these guys are looking pretty good as far as lap times go. The top 3 or 4 all within arm's reach of each other. And then 5th on back are about the same, 0.6, 0.6, 0.7. So it's looking up to be a pretty exciting event tonight.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, don't get me wrong. The drivers here, I mean, they get a lot of respect for each other here at Full Throttle Sim Racing. They're going to race each other with respect. Probably not going to see a lot of the Ross Chastain and the Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott type deal, but it did definitely put on for a good show and good entertainment yesterday in the actual Cup Series. But yeah, it's turn 1 is going to be your make or break. 3 and 4, you really don't hear a lot of drivers complaining about 3 and 4. They can typically get through there. That's usually the money corners. 1 and 2 are going to be the make or break corners when it comes to drivers on whether they're going to make up ground or lose ground or just completely destroy the ground depending on how hard they send it in there. Definitely here, the Stig out there in the YouTube world said that himself as well as 2 of his drivers were actually in attendance at Worldwide Technology yesterday for the Illinois 300, that being his brother Josh Johnson and his teammate Ryan Hedrick. So some drivers getting some real world notes to be taken down to see if they apply tonight. But something that this track also offers, Jeremy, that we don't see in a lot of other tracks is not only turn 1 and 2, but down that backstretch, they have that opening there. So depending on how these drivers come off the corner, we've seen that play a factor in the past where drivers take it too wide and actually get hung up past the boundary of that track, and that wall closes off pretty fast, which kind of surprised me that the NASCAR allows that to stay open like that instead of just having a straight wall all the way down.
Yeah, it could definitely pose some safety risks for sure. And thankfully, we did not see that in the real life or this past Wednesday for the Truck Series presented by Sim Racing Points. I wanted to make a mention here. We got about a half minute left before practice is over. We have a 5th driver for Morel Motorsports. If you recall on Charlotte, Nicholas Morel, with his team, just dominated Charlotte. And now they brought on a 5th driver tonight, and he's right now currently sitting 2nd in your practice, Mr. Alex Tuppert. You're going to find him in the number 94. So a 5th member for his team, and that team right now, Nicholas Morel once again on top of this practice chart with his 2 teammates 2nd and 3rd place. And then looks like his fourth teammates are going to find him in 6th and then 8th place. So once again, this team is looking really strong. But then, yeah, they're definitely bringing the heat. And Richie Coy, he's trying to make up for what he did last week and had a off week with the setup. And, he's sitting 4th right now in practice. So I'm curious to know how he's going to do. But nonetheless, practice is over. Qualifying has kicked on. So that means it's time for us to get our faces off your guys' screen and start thanking some people. All of our partners at Nerditudes and for the Full Throttle Sim Racing League. First and foremost, the league themselves, Full Throttle Sim Racing. Please sign up. This is the end of week number 2. So you still got 11 weeks to see what you got here at this league. You're going to go to ftsr.net and get registered through the driver registration link at the top of your page and choose any series that you want. 4 different series, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. All right, shout out to Mach1 Performance, the official sponsor for the Cup Series. It's a fabrication shop started by the late Johnny Coy Jr. Shop produced champion winners of all sorts of racing divisions, from road circuits like the SCCA and NASA to dirt and pavement oval racing. So head over to Mach1 Performance and see what they have to offer for your real life racing car. Thank you to Sim Racing Points, the official sponsor of the Truck Series, hosted here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's your all-inclusive league points management system. They take care of FTSR, and they take care of you as well. A huge amount of different resources involved, a bunch of different stats they display on your website. If you want it displayed in full page or customized widgets, that is up to you. They got you covered. So head over to simracingpoints.com, check out their pricing plans, and get your league registered today. Thank you to Martin Sports, home of the apparel partner for the Nerditudes, and home of the sim gloves of all of sim racing. We talk about them each and every week, and there's a reason that we do so. The most breathable and durable gloves on the market. They also produce customized shirts, hoodies, hats, T-shirts, gloves of all kinds. I mean, we talk about like ours that we have in-house, but they have so many options, so many designs. And they're a good price point, especially when you use the promo code SUPERNERD you see on the bottom of your screen right now for 25% off. You're going to find that all at martinsports906.com. Thank you to iRacing iFlag, the official flag partner for the Nerditudes. It's a 64 light emitting diode LED matrix system. All that means to you, it's a 4x6 3D printed unit, sits on your desk. Super bright. It takes care of all your iRacing notifications, like every flag that comes out. Takes care of like the spotter commands if someone's high or low. It's one of a kind thing that really just, puts you more involved with the racing simulation, more like it's a complete rig, so to speak. So it's one of a kind. No one else has this thing. And it works great, keeps you focused on what's ahead of you. And you're going to go to iRacingIFlag.com. Use that promo code SUPERNERD once again. This time, 15% off. Shout out to the Butt Kicker, official audio enhancement partner for ourselves here at Nerditudes. Where the Gamer 2 unit lives, it's a standard in all sim racing immersion. Gives you that much-needed haptic transducer feedback in your seat that's needed to propel you to some more racing wins. Makes your sim rig essentially close to the actual thing as you can get it to be. So you're going to head over to thebuttkicker.com. Use promo code NERDTV. This time you're going to get a 20% off that Gamer 2 unit or anything that you purchase from thebuttkicker.com. Shout out to Moonlight Speed Concepts, your official pave setup partner for the Nerditudes. Professional setups built from the ground up to cover all of your iRacing asphalt oval needs. I usually say they go from the late models, but I think they produce all the way down the advanced legends. So they basically have every oval section taken care of on the asphalt side. Head over to moonlightspeed.com, get yourself registered, and join the Discord. Great group of guys are constantly working on these things. They update them 2 or 3 times a week. They're making sure that you get yourself some W's. Shout out to House of Speed, the official dirt setup shop for the Nerditudes. Same thing as the Moonlight Speed concept guys, but on dirt. From any dirt oval car that you drive, they have you covered. And they're also going to get you some much-needed W's in your win column. So head over to houseofspeed.us and check out their pricing plans. Thank you to Nerd Focus. You head over to nerdfocus.com. Choose one of their 2 flavors. Green is sugar, blue is not sugar. Use that code SUPERNERD for 10% off. There are 2 flavors. It's going to keep you hyper focused no matter what you're doing. As always, you can run a 2 or 3 hour race session, no problem. You can be doing a bunch of homework, studying for an exam. They got you covered. It's going to keep you alert, mentally prepared for everything that's in front of you. Once again, nerdfocus.com. And also a special for this month here, really. Nerditudes is back in the St. Jude's Research with their 60-minute gaming challenge. We game for 60 minutes a week, and they benefit. All the donations from the QR code, which should be on your screen the entire broadcast. You see it right there. Just take your phone, you open up your camera app. You know how QR codes work these days. As soon as the camera sees it, it's going to produce a link. It's going to take you to a donation page. And from there, you donate whatever you want. And 100% of all those proceeds directly connects to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Please make sure to do that. It's going to be live every broadcast all month long. So take care of them. As you know, they are one of the best organizations in hospital, period, to take care of children. All right, Dustin. We are on the grid here. So if you want to run us down the starting grid order for tonight's race.
Absolutely. Taking the pole again for the second straight week in a row is Nicholas Moreau. Outside for a strong running is Chuck Sweeting. Yes, we do have all white cars on there. A little bit of trading paints glitch. Trying to get that fixed. Inside second row is that Moreau Motorsports teammate there. Newcomer Alex Tupert. To his outside is defending series champion Richie Coy. Inside in fifth is Matthew Tremblay. Starting sixth is Jonathan Vachon. Starting seventh is going to be I lost it. Lane Allen. There you go, Lane Allen. Starting eighth is Matthew Vachon. Starting ninth is Tony Solari. Starting 10th is going to be Martin Garreau.
I see that your trading paints have kicked on too, so no more white cars for everybody. 11th place, Stephen Lou Allen. 2 is outside, and 12th is Josh Mayu. 13th place, you're going to find Chris Beck in the 44. 14th, Joshua Johnson. 15th place, Ryan Hedrick. 16th place, Gil Gawk, and he's the last one to take a lap. 17th on back, just fall in per iRating order. So Wayne Grossi, 17th. James Wallace, 18th. Alex Murphy, 19th. 20th, Brian Dublé. Brody Hanna starts in 21st. 22nd looks to be Brandon Elder. 23rd, Brian Bliss. And once again, Steve Loomis will round out tonight's field in a 24-car field. And we have one corner to go before these guys take the green flag for the Gateway Race Inaugural Cup Series for FTSR. Let's see who's got what it takes. I think Nicholas has a great position, and you saw from Charlotte, he knows how to get the job done, even at this league, being a rookie contender. But green flag is out underway. Great clean restart by every one of these guys. Headed off into turn number 1. This is where it gets fun.
Yeah, going off into turn 1, this is going to be their first time in a pack like this, going in with these cup cars. As it goes right now, side by side is Moreau and Sweeting, but Sweeting gets that run on that high side. He had that preferred line on that middle groove going through 1 and 2. 19 of Richie Coy is going to follow him right on through.
Yeah, you're going to see that outside be the dominant player here tonight on turn 1 and 2. 3 and 4, it's more so at the bottom, but you start to see him single file out. Landis your 4th and 5th place right now. That 25 on the outside, the 94 of the newcomer Alex Tupert right on the inside.
Yeah, off into the next turn here. It does look like they're going to start filing out. Again, like you said, that middle line is that preferred groove through 1 and 2. I mean, depending on the line that you can take in there, you may be able to get that diamond-esque run through 1 and 2 to where you take that little higher approach and then diamond it off close to the paint. But, I mean, Jeremy, you know as well as I, these drivers are typically going to take that middle groove as that preferred.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that's a disadvantage of iRacing is when you run the upper grooves on iRacing, the game registers you going faster, and then it costs you more tire wear. So even though it's faster, you still have to manage your tires a lot to make that work long term. But if you run the bottom in the beginning and then run the middle the rest of the way before pit stops, you're definitely in a good position for sure. And you see the number 11 on your screen. That's Tony Solari making a pass on that number 24 right there for position. That's going to bring him just inside the top 10.
Yeah, he's trying to get past the 24 of Stephen Lou Allen. That's actually going to put him in 11th. So again, like you said, just outside the top 10, but finally gets him cleared. Going off into the next corner here, he can now set his sights on the 0-2 of Josh Mayu as they're going up. But back up front again.
Rick.
Big wreck.
Number 11, Tony Solari gets loose. He's spun in front of him. Yeah, on his roof. Hood is gone. Caution is out. Lap number 4 for the first caution this evening at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Huge impact here from Tony Solari. We just talked about him. Came off your screen in just a matter of seconds. Things got crazy in a hurry. We're going to bring that coverage for you here momentarily, but right now, Tony Solari not looking like he's in a good spot here. You're going to see it exit turn number 2 right now. Gets a little loose on exit, overcorrects, and nowhere to go for that 24. Flips him over. He loses his nose. 11 goes around. 2 cars involved for the first caution tonight.
Yeah, and that looks like it was also going to involve the 24, who he was just battling with. That's Stephen Lou Allen. Looks like he is going to be the other unfortunate driver involved in that incident as well. Took his front nose off on top of that one. So again, tough break for both of those drivers. But again, we were talking about how treacherous some of these corners, were going to be like that. And coming off of turn 2 like that, it's a tighter corner through 1 and 2. And you feel like you can carry more speed like that. And that transition coming from the corner to the flat, it does. That ass end gets real light real fast.
This track's not like Dover at all. It almost reminds me of Dover because the walls just come up to you so quick. You think you have what it takes to come on exit, and then boom, that wall is right there staring at you in the face. And I think Tony might actually have felt that a little bit, turned the wheel a little too much, and with the heat just getting to where they need to be, I think the car just lost its grip because putting a little extra wheel input in there. And they call that oversteering there in the road racing world anyways. But I think that's exactly what happened there, and you're going to see the 24 with massive amount of damage on your screen now. No front clip. These next-gen cars have replaceable carbon composite bumpers here, so they might or might not elect to put that back on, but either way, you're going to see that 24 with some heavy damage all around his car. And Tony Solari, if you can get back on track, that's going to be impressive because that car was definitely on his lid.
Yeah, that's a massive amount of damage. Now, the good thing is these cars aren't entirely aero dependent as much as some of the other tracks. So even with that front clip being missing from the 24 of Lou Allen, he could still perform. He's probably not going to perform up to race winning standards, but he can still perform and be competitive on that. Tony Solari, on the other hand, that I don't think there was a single inch of that car that didn't have some type of damage.
Oh, no, for sure. And I was actually going back, too, and looking at that wreck one more time. I saw the number 47, Ryan Hendrick, come down pit road. He was trying to whoa up and got net code hit by the 85 of Gil Gawk. So a little bit of right rear damage to that number 47. You see it on screen right there, just kind of pushed in a little bit. And Gil Gawk, I didn't really see much damage to him. That would have been directly to his left front fender. I don't see any tie rub or anything of that nature. It looks pretty clean from my camera angle. So he got lucky, as this track is not too aero dependent like you just said, but the front is going to feel it the most if you do have any. So thankfully for him, he's good to go on that end. So I think Ryan should be fine as well. He dropped 4 spots just because of the situation of out in the pit, but needless to say, we're going back to green here. We got 2 corners to go before that pace car does dip down. This track is one of the weird ones, Dustin. The entrance to pit road is on turn number 3 on that access road you see on your screen now inside the grass. You cannot do what the pace car just did.
It takes a hard left.
Yeah, it almost drifts too. I saw it in the truck race. The car, I think the pace driver has fun with it. He drifts on that right-hander going back into this thing. But nonetheless, green flag is out. 75 this time. Chuck Sweeting is going to be the leader of this restart. Richie Coy gets a great jump on the high side, though, and looks like he's going to be able to clear him exiting turn number 2.
Yeah, as it's going almost exactly like the initial start of the race, Richie Coy had that preferred line going through like Chuck Sweeting had on the initial start, and he's going to prevail on that, which surprises me that Chuck didn't elect to take that outside line, knowing how well it started on the initial start of the race. Right now, Chuck falls back to second. Right behind Richie Coy. Battle right now for third between Nicholas Mayu and Matthew Tremblay as they finally dice it out. Mayu taking third, Tremblay falling in that 4th position.
I'm looking at that number 15, Nicholas Morel. Started on P1, was in practice leading the whole thing. He made a little charge there onto the 75, but backed up turn number 1 and 2. I think he's going to try to get back to the front in a hurry here because he wants to show once again what he's worth here at Full Throttle Sim Racing.
Yeah, but we got to have some green flag laps for that. Now we're only 9 laps into 120 full distance for this for tonight's racing event. And we know that Full Throttle Sim Racing is known for their long green flag runs. So he's definitely going to get that opportunity to really showcase what it is. And that's where at Charlotte, his team really prevailed, was on those long runs, if you recall last week, Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, the first half of that run, they were, they're good, but they weren't like dominant. But yeah, as soon as about lap 25, lap 30 hit on those set of tires, those guys on Morel Motorsports just took off. They were on a whole nother level. At one point, we saw 3 of their teammates running 1, 2, 3, about 5 seconds ahead of everybody else. It was something crazy like. But, this is a complete different track. Even though the similar story that most of them are up front, Richie Coy and Chuck Sweeting have found their groove tonight, and they are the original 1 and 2s here are now on the top spots.
Yeah, and we know these two here have duked it out in just fantastic fashion through the Truck Series and the Cup Series last season. Then, like you said, they always seem like they find each other on the track all the time, and they're always, the competition in racing is fierce, close, but respectful. So it's going to be interesting to see. They both typically can have excellent long-run cars. We know Richie Coy and Chuck Sweeting are known for that. Based off of what we've seen from last week in the Cup Series, we know Nicholas Moreau can have a good long-haul car as well, and he's staying right up there with them as these front 3 are starting to gap now between themselves and 4th place of Matthew Tremblay.
Yeah, starting to gap them just a little bit here, but this track is so easy to use your tires up. So even though they're starting to get that groove and they're like, yeah, I got this kind of thing, don't trust it too much. Those guys might be 6th, 7th place. They're probably banking on these guys running a little bit harder into the corners, allowing them guys, which I think the fuel window, just like the trucks, was between lap 55 and 60. If they do go to lap 60 tonight, that will put them exactly halfway through this race. So there's going to be a lot of tire saving. 60 laps at Gateway, that ruins your tires. So they definitely have to conserve them tires to make the long run happen.
Yeah, tires are going to be a big thing. If all the corners were like 3 and 4, it wouldn't be as much of an issue. But that heavy braking 1 and 2 that this track does pose, does put that tire advantage on there for conservation. And that's where drivers really start shining, is those that can get through 1 and 2, conserve and save their tires, especially for these long green flag runs that we know we're going to be seeing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I imagine all these guys that are in 5th, 6th place are going to make their way back up to the front here. But I want to do a quick shout out to that QR code that you see on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Once again, this month we are backing up the St. Jude's Research Hospital. So what we do is 60 minutes of gaming a week, and that opens up all of our donations to be proceeded to the St. Jude's Research Hospital. So if you have just $1, $5, we're not asking for much. It's obviously they're well known and know exactly what they do each and every day for young kids out there. So please donate. Anything that goes to that donation goes straight to them. We don't even see it. That links directly to them. So once again, open those cameras up, scan that QR code, and make anything you can possible happen.
Absolutely. Couldn't be for a better cause. It goes towards research and treatment for these very strong children that are out there and that are, battling some of the worst things imaginable, but they do it with the best of spirits and hopes. So, again, always a good cause, and that's one thing that Nerditudes has always been in support of. We support a lot of different charities. St. Jude's is definitely one of them.
Yeah, it's one of the best out there, They do so much good things out there for a bunch of kids, thousands and thousands and thousands of kids and their families to take care of all the medical bills. And they're not government run. They're all based on donations. So they're not being controlled by anybody. It's just strictly just you donate, they help. That's it. Going back to the race, Richie Coy, since we talked about them, he's actually dished out about a 10 car length advantage over second place now, Nicholas Moreau. Third place falls back is Chuck Sweeting. And that 25 has gained a couple spots, Mr. Tremblay. He's sitting right now in fourth.
Yeah, he's actually starting to chase down the 75 with Chuck Sweeting. Now after Tremblay's teammate Moreau actually was able to get by him, and he gained big time ground on the 75 of Sweeting through that set of corners right there. As you see in the 75 of Chuck take it really, really high. Don't know if maybe he overdrove it going into that corner there, a little higher than what he was anticipating, but battle right now going on for what would be the third position. Oh, car hard into the wall. That looks like the 94 newcomer, Alex Tupert, is into the wall there coming off of turn 2. So again, right now, Jeremy, it looks like treacherous turn 2 is really starting to affect some drivers.
That had the exact image of Tony Solari on lap number 4, where he just got loose and overcorrected. Instead of sliding it through the grass and maybe hit the inside wall, he just took the outside, pounded it down. But once again, these carbon composite bodies, you see him still in front of that number 55 of Jonathan Vachon. So it doesn't look like it hurt him too bad.
No, and like you said, I mean, that's a good thing about these, these composite bodies, and the track is helping out as well. It's not that heavy aero dependent, as we do have a caution out on the speedway, Jeremy.
Caution lap number 19, second one of this evening. Didn't see it initially. We're going to go take a quick look and find exactly what happened. And it looks like possibly the number 31, Alex Murphy. Let's get confirmation on that. Yes, 31. Lap turn number 1. He was underneath the 18 of Brian Bliss. Sails it off into the corner. And when he does so, he entered in low and just got loose. The car just broke loose. I think it's part of the tire combination that the next gens run, where there's not much forgiveness in these Goodyears. It's a low profile tire. So when you kick loose, you get loose quick. And you see him, he's running comfortably right here, and then just whoop, all of a sudden that rear end just shot out of nowhere, spun to the inside there, and brought out the second caution for this evening.
Yeah, and again, it's at turn 1 and 2. If you look at where we've had all of the issues so far, that's all the wall contact, that's any of the cautions or anything else, it's all been turns 1, entering turn 1, where drivers tend to and again, I mean, it's happened to me during officials as well. I've seen it happen to a lot of drivers. They drive it in too hard because you do have to woe it down there a little bit more than what you would expect. Or it's coming out of that turn 2, because that turn 2 wall, it kind of reminds me of a Dover. That turn 2 and turn 4 walls at Dover, they jump out and bite you faster than what you realize, and that's kind of how the turn 2 wall is here at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
It really is, and these guys are all coming down pit road this time. We're on lap number 20, so definitely not going to be clear of a one-stop shop. They will have to make one more green flag pit stop if they go green the rest of the way. See him exiting actually pit road right now. Chuck Sweeting. Or no, the 15, their colors are very similar. That 15, Nicholas Moreau, looks like he's going to beat was race leader Richie Coy off pit road. That's going to bring that pole sitter back to first place.
Yeah, now the question is whether or not that pole sitter is going to learn from the initial race start and the first restart that we had, where that outside line got the excellent run coming off of turn 2. And let's see where the 15 of Nicholas Moreau chooses to restart this race on what is going to be our second restart of tonight.
Yeah, thankfully the leaders have choice here, and typically you start on the bottom, but this track, if you notice it, this past weekend, and if you notice a couple starts, like you said, that high side seems to be the place to be, because the banking transition is about 1 to maybe 2 degrees difference from the bottom to the midline. So you get a lot more speed carry through, you get better rotation, you get better drive off. So everything about the midline in turn 1 and 2 is, you definitely want to put your car there. That's your best place for success. And I think we're going to see that 15 take. So you see him do line up on the top. So I think that's the lane of choice.
Yeah, definitely. He took some notes from that initial start and that restart. The initial start, he's seen Chuck Sweeting better him coming off of turn 2, and then on that first restart, he's seen Richie Coy better Chuck Sweeting on that high side coming off of turn 2. So we're going to see if the 15 of Nicholas Moreau can't replicate that same success on that. But again, I mean, it's It's logic, Jeremy. I mean, that preferred line is that mid groove when they go in like that. So, coming off, starting on that high side, it essentially puts you right there where you need to be in that preferred line, which gives you that great run off. So I would expect to see a lot of leaders elect to take that high side on restarts throughout tonight's race as pace car is pulling in. As Nicholas Moreau takes us back down the front stretch, we are waiting for that green flag to fly as they are pacing down. Green flag is in the air, underway. Excellent restart by the 15. Richie Coy matches a restart, though. Not a bad restart from the 19, but it does look like Nicholas Moreau in that 15 is going to get that good line, that preferred line through 1 and 2. He will regain the race lead here on lap 23.
Terrible restart by that number 50, Martin Garreau. He dropped back a spot there in 6th place right now. Just could not get that thing started, but yeah, 15 with an excellent start there. Richie Coy already driving up to the bumper of that 15. The 75, Chuck Sweeting is around the middle of 3 and 4. Caution is out one more time. It looks like he's able to keep it straight after the initial slide. Car is in pristine condition, just a little dirty from the grass, but nonetheless, iRacing does throw that caution. Lap number 23 for the 3rd caution this evening.
Yeah, not that any driver wants to bring out a caution of any kind, but I mean, in all reality, that's the best outcome that you could have for a loose race car at any racetrack is to sit here and not have any contact whatsoever, be able to keep it off the wall. As you see him wheeling it here, he's throttling it in the grass a little bit, brings it back nice and easy, doesn't bring it back up on the track, cautions out. No damage at all to that 75 of Chuck Sweeting or any other competitor for that matter.
Yeah, thankfully that was a great great driving there by Chuck to bring it down to the grass and not overcorrect. Because if he would have done so, there might have been some people, Dustin, that would have been scrambling around trying to avoid somebody. So it's great driving. I don't think he's gonna need to change tires. He only slid for just a little bit, but he does come down pit road actually. So I guess he decides. I think they have 3 more sets of tires, if I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3 more. So he's able to afford 1 more set change here. That's going to bring him back to the tail end of the field. It's going to put him starting 23rd on the grid.
Yeah, like you said, fuel run estimated again, right around that 50 lap mark or so, a little bit more. So, I mean, they could technically do this on the initial set and then 2 extra sets. So that does give them 1 additional set to kind of play with, and it looks like Chuck Sweeting is electing. I actually didn't see his car go up there at all. Looks like he was just using this opportunity here to go and top off with fuel, Jeremy.
I guess you might as well try to play strategy a little different now. He's got about 4 to 5 laps more in the tank at most, so will this play a factor? I'm not too sure. If they hit that estimated time or estimated lap count of 60, that's halfway. So him coming in and topping off for 5 more laps doesn't make sense. We'll find out.
Yeah, we have seen stranger things happen, though. I mean, we've seen some strange pit strategy not work out, and we've seen some strange pit strategy actually benefit. So I can recall going back to the Sim Racing Points Truck Series last season. I remember seeing Casey McMullen win on strategy like that, one that, all of us, you and KB in the booth and myself, in the production booth, sitting here questioning, going, I don't know about that, and he ended up holding on and bringing it home with the victory. So, I mean, gloves are off when it comes to pit strategy with these guys. These guys are willing to gamble everything.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some crazy things happen, and if 5 extra laps or so makes it happen for Chuck, then, I'm going to put that in my bank as far as what to do on a particular run. But these guys have 1 lap to go before we go back to racing for the 3rd restart this evening. And you're going to find that 15 taking that high side 1 more time. He learned the hard way, and now he's got the lead back, and now he's going to be able to control the start.
Yeah, definitely learned on that first one. So, like I said, I would see this as being a steady pace of seeing the leaders taking the option to start on that outside. Wouldn't be the first time at tracks that we've seen this happen, where drivers like to take that high side because it is the preferred line through there. So definitely get used to seeing that along the way here tonight, as again getting ready to come to our 3rd restart of tonight's event. We are 26 laps into 126 full or 120 full distance as the 15 of Nicholas Moreau looks to lead them to the green flag. Green flag is in the air. Excellent restart.
It looks like Martin Grove missed a shift once again. Not terrible this time, but he does back up several car lengths. Going to move him back to, looks like he got back to 5th, and then 6th place. He dropped back right now. But great start by the 25. You see Tremblay on the inside of Richie Coy here, trying to take over 2nd and join his teammate for 1-2.
Yeah, and again, I mean, we're looking at the same thing that we had seen last week at Charlotte. I mean, Tremblay had such an excellent car as well, and was up there running very close racing between these two here through turns 3 and 4, where you can actually do that. Car's a little bit more controllable. The speeds are a little bit higher, but you do see Richie Coy prevail on that outside run coming off of 4. You do get a run coming off of 4 here as well. Especially on fresher tires, because you can get that car to stick. So that is not uncommon, especially early on in a run.
Absolutely, yeah. You got to let the things warm up a little bit before you start getting real racy, especially if your car's on edge and waiting for that long run. 85 Gil Gawk mid-pack gets a little loose, able to correct it though in front of the 18. But I don't think he's going to be able to lose a spot either, so that's going to be good. But it's going to stack him up a little bit. As behind him, we got the 18, 24. It looks like we got Wallace back here in the 67, all a little bunched up here.
Yeah, good racing pack right back here. Again, being led by Gil Gawk and Brian Bliss as they're racing side by side. You see the 24, Stephen Llewellyn, again with that modified open front nose there. Like I said, not a heavy aero-dependent track, so you still see the 24 of Llewellyn being competitive there. Again, not race-winning competitive, but he's not off the pace either. He's actually in duking it out, racing as he gets loose and hits the inside wall coming off the corner. Jeremy, this broadcaster's curse, man, it just bites.
Yeah, I think. How do you not talk about a guy though? Like, this is all we do is talk about racers. So but you directly was like, yeah, he's in good condition, and then he just hits the wall. And I said, nope, I am not. Trust me. So I kind of sealed that for a little bit. He does drop all the way back to the tail end of the running field right now. That's on the lead lap anyways. His car's still not completely off pace, though, as he's trying to pass that 17 for 22nd, but pretty good battle here, too. Still with the 85 Gil Gawk, got the 20 or 94 Alex Tubert looking on his inside here. Is there 2x2x2 almost?
Yeah, Alex trying to regain after that. Ooh, we got the 57 loose on the inside. Caution will come out. That is the 57 of Josh Johnson. Definitely got loose on that one there going through. We're going to take another look and see exactly what happened with the 57.
Just some good racing there with the 14, laying Allen to his top side. Slides up turn number 1, which is not uncommon here. Door checks the 14, but that's fine. They're still good on exit. The 57 just got on the gas too hard, too early. And once again, those Goodyear tires, these low-profile setups, just can't hold that grip like the old cars and tires do. So you see him right here. He gets up in the door panel of the 14, not a problem, and just burps the throttle and loops it. He does overcorrect, but able to keep it from climbing up the racing surface, which, this track is not wide. So he was able to quickly lock it down, keep it toward the bottom of the track. Everyone is in safe order, no harm, no foul, but it does bring out the 4th caution this evening.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, in the pre-race show, we talked about that, Jeremy. That's turn 1 was going to be treacherous because it's so easy to full send it into turn 1. You don't apply enough brake. You don't back your corner up, just enough, and the car it'll drift up in that center like that. That's not what you want to happen, especially when you're too wide. You get side by side like that, and then you start getting bottlenecked and choked up a little bit, and it doesn't take much, as 57 of Josh Johnson found out, just a little too much throttle, and that car, it'll let you know, and it'll let you know in not a very nice way.
Yeah, the low-profile tires do not like being played with, so any amount of pressure like that, and they tend to go around quick. I think pit road was open that time. Maybe not. I thought it was, but I think they might have extended it 1 lap. Let's see who comes down for 4 fresh Goodyears. Looking like a lot of these guys are kind of hanging low. Do they all pit? Do they not? We're coming up to the access road in turn number 3. Looks like everyone is going to stay out once again. So you see Tony Solari coming around. He is the only car 1 lap down. He is going to collect your hashtag Get a Grip Lucky Dog Driver Award presented by Martin Sports. put yourself back on the lead lap with that car that's already been flipped over, beat, bang, no hood. That thing is all but junk, and he's able to make some things happen with it. He's now back on the lead lap.
Ah, man, it takes me back to the Dale Earnhardt Sr. days. Really does. Car flipped over and everything else, and Dale Sr. says, well, hell, will that thing turn over? It turned over. Hell, get the hell out of the way. I got a race to finish. You know, that's just the kind of mindset some of these guys have. If that car still runs, hell with it. We're going to give it a shot.
Yeah, if it drives, you know, he got sponsors to thank out there. He's got a team to root and cheer on, and you know, I love the mindset. I really do as well. You know, to a lot of these guys, not here in particular, but if you race iRacing official stuff, or in some other leagues I've been a part of, once they wreck, they're done. They realize the W is out of the question, and once they realize that, third, fourth place, that's not good enough. So they park the thing, get out, and retire for the night. So for him to, you know, flip over, be underneath, you know, normal speed, and to stay out there like a champion, like, that's awesome stuff.
Yeah, and that's what sets these drivers apart from a lot of the other drivers you would happen to meet on the iRacing circuit. Is these guys are here, one, to have fun, two, to race and enjoy each other's company, and three, they always have in the back of their mind, yeah, this may only be race number 2 of a 13 race schedule, but they're points racing. They're championship racing. They're thinking 12 weeks down going into that final championship race at Daytona. That's what they're thinking of right now. So every point counts.
Yeah, if you stay out like he is, and let's say 3 people wreck out from this point forward tonight, and what if he wins the championship by 1 point? Like, you go back to this race and go, hey, I stayed out there like a champion in my slow car, able to bring home 20th place, but I won that championship because I did so. So, and how competitive this league is, you're going to have to get any type of advantage you can, and, you know, to scrape up 1 or 2 spots. That's the way to go.
That's the only way to do it. That's championship racing right there. I mean, it's that's what these drivers are all about. Pace lights are out on the car. I want to apologize. You hear me clearing my throat and everything else. I have been under the weather all weekend long, fever and everything else, so still kind of feeling the effects. But pace lights are out on the car. We are going to go back for our 4th restart of tonight. You're going to see that pace car take that wicked drift left-hand turn here coming off of turn 4. And again, you see that 15 of Nicholas Moreau restarting on that high side.
Pun included by Dustin Loxton because he has weather in the area that's threatening, and he's underneath the weather, so pun intended on that one. But yeah, we're going to see the 15 try to get a good restart once again over Richie Coy. Just waiting on that green flag to officially fly, which is out right now. 15 looks like he gets almost a full car length restart on this one, entering turn number 1. Let's see if the 19 has any grip here on the bottom to make any type of run on him. Does not look like he's able to get the throttle to stick enough, and you're going to go single file. Nicholas Merrill gets a good little launch off of turn number 2. But the battle right now, 7th and 8th place here, 44 and 55, look like they're getting pretty racy as Martin Guerrero in the 7 of Wayne Grossi also side by side.
Yeah, they are 2 by 2 as these guys are going off into 3 and 4 right now. And this is the type of racing that this track does pose. You know, I was kind of skeptical about this track coming in, but I tell you what, the more laps I put down on this track, the more fun this track actually became. And you can get some good 2x2 battles like this. And I would expect to see this throughout the night as the 55 of Jonathan Vachon finally does take that position over the 44 of Beck. Grossi right now side by side with Martin Guerrero. These guys have been side by side now for about a lap and a half.
Basically, since the restart came out, these guys have been trying to decide who's going to be in 7th place. They're still trying to duke it out. Looks like the 50 finally gets that advantage. Martin Guerrero clears the number 7 Wayne Grossi exiting turn number 4. Now we see Brody Hanna looming in there trying to get 8th place.
Yeah, Brody Hanna working his way forward. Remember, he did not take a qualifying time. A man that makes it very evident that he is not a fan of these cars, but he has race wins in these cars, winning the opening 3 events of the 2022 A season in these cars before deciding to take a step back to do the admin responsibilities, but no qualifying time. He is up 12 positions right now from his originally his starting position, running in 9th right now, challenging that number 7 of Wayne Grossi for that 8th position.
Yeah, shout out to him for racing. And I honestly think like he might have not raced not knowing that this track was such an underrated venue. We saw this weekend put on some excellent racing from the trucks and from the Cup Series, and so I'm glad Gateway, or now known as Worldwide Technology Raceway, has gotten the spotlight it needs, because this track does produce awesome racing, but no one thinks of it. It's never been in the Cup Series spotlight. That's where a lot of people gravitate to, is the Cup Series. So, they finally got its light. It got some upgrades because NASCAR required upgrades to this track before the Cup cars came, and it's been all for the better. It's produced awesome stuff all the way around for the fans, for the drivers. So I'm glad it's in the Cup Series, Dustin. I think this track needs to stay for a while. It just produces some great racing.
I couldn't agree anymore. Speaking of great racing right now, you're seeing Nicholas Moreau pick up right where he left off last week, as he's starting to stretch out his lead right now on Richie Coy to almost a second right now, about 0.8 of a second. And right now, Richie Coy is finding himself under some heat from Moreau Motorsports teammate Matthew Tremblay, as Tremblay's trying to chase him down.
Yeah, Tremblay's pretty fast. I think if we can get a long green flag run, I think that's going to be one of the guys to watch out for, really. Been showing some great speed overall. And his teammates, third, fourth, and fifth of the two Vachons directly behind him. Richie Coy kind of separating that party for Moreau Motorsports. Richie Coy, he's been the dominant factor for Fury Motorsports, really putting on the pressure. Teammate Tony Solari, of course, got in that wreck early, and then Brody Hanna, if he can get up there and challenge too, he's moved up to 8th place now. I did pass Wayne Grossi, so Fury Motorsports, if he can get Brody Hanna up there in the top 5, it's going to be a battle of the two teams.
Yeah, we're going to pick up right where we left off last week, but just talk about the strength. When's the last time that we have seen a team have this many drivers in the top 5? You're looking at 4 out of their 5 members hold the top 5 positions. And as I say that, you see that Chris Beck knocked Matthew Vachon out of the top 5. But as I was talking about that, they held 4 out of the top 5 positions there. The only one that wasn't up there was a 94 of Alex Tupert that had that early race impact coming off of turn 2 that he's still working on getting. As we have a car, it looks like that was Martin Garreau. Yeah, Martin Garreau there. I don't know if got loose off the corner. Maybe there was a little bit of contact coming off that corner, but he shot hard left and fast.
Yeah, caution didn't look like it was going to come out until the 50, and Martin Garreau backed up enough to get onto the racing surface and start headed forward. It looked like he had a moment of not getting that car to fire. It did fire, and he's able to roll off, but he did back up technically in front of traffic, even though there was like 1 or 2 cars left. That triggers iRacing to say, hey, we need to throw this caution for the 5th time this evening, this time on lap 43. And you see, just get drilled in the rear end by, looks like the 23 in that Exalta Ford Mustang, coming off of turn number 2, which has caused everyone problems tonight so far.
Yeah, and that's what it looked like. Didn't look like Brody Hanna almost didn't expect him to check up as much as what he did coming off that corner there. But it definitely looked like it caught him off guard, and it definitely caught the the 50 of Martin Garreau off guard as well. So good thing is that it doesn't look like there's a substantial amount of damage to that car, which is very beneficial to that. But again, an unfortunate thing, because like I said, he was running 7th place at the time that happened, and that knocked him back. But that is going to bring your leaders down pit road to the service of their crew here. Get some four fresh Goodyear sneakers on these things, because that's one thing that I guarantee a lot of these drivers complaining about is tires.
Unless your name is Joshua Johnson, Josh Mayu, or Stephen Lou Allen, who decided to stay out, did not pit this time. Those guys temporarily right now, 1, 2, and 3. Interesting strategy, especially in the 24s end. He's driving a late model right now. He decided to park the next-gen car and switched out for a late model. So I don't know what that speed is going to entail. I have not seen him up in the front since the damage, and he does not come down this time. That means he's going to be committed to starting 3rd place, Dustin. Well, actually, no, we see
Josh Mayhew's coming down.
Josh Mayhew making his pit stop. So we're going to see Stephen Lou Allen starting P2 alongside Joshua Johnson. who was the person who caused the last caution like 15 laps ago or so. So it's just going to be a very tricky restart here for the leaders like Richie Coy and Nicholas Moreau.
Yeah, especially because, I mean, tires are very important at this track here. I mean, I hate to throw statistics and past results out there, but we typically haven't had the best of luck with drivers on older tires versus drivers with newer tires. And literally these two drivers of Josh Johnson and Stephen Lou Allen are the only two out there. Every other driver behind them is all on 4 fresh tires. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out for sure.
The only thing I can think of is the 57 stayed out to get a lap led. It gives you a point there in the point standings. Outside of that, I am with you. I'm going to go on the side of stats and how it reads from all the history we've had in racing, period, is if you have better tires, you're going to be passing people. And then if you have worse tires, well, you better hang on. So we'll see if that 57 of Joshua Johnson and the 24 of Steve Lyon can do anything. Though we're creeping up to the halfway point. So there might be a little, hey, if I stay out 20 laps and then come down for tires, it won't be that bad. They did gain quite a few spots by staying out. Can they hold up? Will it pay off? We're about to find out here as we're coming to the green flag on lap number 46, entering 47. Green flag is out as of right now. 57 with a good start, but that 15 and 19 laid back quite a bit. They're able to launch themselves a little bit. 15 checked up to entering the corner, and 19, Richie Coy's going to get a great launch into turn number 1. Is able to clear, and they're going to be almost 4 wide exiting turn number 2. They clear the 24, so he got into the outside wall. Now their eyes set on the 57, Joshua Johnson.
Ooh, that could have been bad real fast, but excellent heads-up driving by everybody. Like you said, almost 4 wide going into that corner. Richie Coy having that preferred line through 1 and 2. Got the jump on it, but the 15 of Moreau is battling back. But right now they got the 57 of Josh Johnson, who's now up in front of Richie Coy. That's only going to help out Nicholas Moreau as he makes that pass going in, but this is going to set up the 57 and the 19 of having that preferred line going through 1 and 2.
Here we go. Looks like 3 wide for second, third, and fourth. Richie Coy able to clear the 25 and the 57. 15 resumes as your race leaders. They head off into turn number 3.
Yeah, crazy racing right there as you see the 57 and the 24 are falling back. You can definitely see the wear of those older tires versus the newer tires. Again, points are points, laps led. That does equate out to points. But they are falling back. Nobody's worse for the wear whatsoever. Some crazy 3 wide racing moments a couple times there. But right now you see Nicholas Moreau does take that top spot again tonight with Richie Coy and tail. Teammate Matthew Tremblay rounds out your top 3.
Joshua Johnson still remains in 5th place, but that 24 Stephen Lou Allen already back to 17th place, 5.2 seconds back. As you see Tony Sawyer go around him there as well. So I think that drops him back to 19th place. That was 2 laps ago. He was 2nd. Now he's 19th. So as you can see, that damage plus bad tires is not a good time, and he is now just riding along. But I technically improved his run because he hasn't upped the speed, right? So he got a little bit of advantage by starting in front of people. Just kind of checked some things up. No problem, though. But you see the 57 fall into the clutch now of Wayne Grossi in that 7 and Brody Hand in that 23.
Yeah, and I would expect to see the 57 to continue to fall back just based on the older tires. I mean, every one of these other drivers has got fresh tires. They can pull the laps. They can get their cars to stick. And right now, Josh Johnson he's in a bad predicament right now because even if he wants his car to stick, even if he has the preferred line, with those older tires, he's just not going to have the speed.
I want to actually take you guys on board. Let's kick it over to the in-car camera of Chuck Sweeting, if we can. I want you guys to watch this guy, this digital tachometer here. He's in 3rd gear. These guys shift twice each straightaway. He's in 3rd, quickly into 4th gear on exit, and they've reached 5th gear about halfway down. So we didn't talk about that at all, but I did notice in the Cup guys on Sunday, they shifted twice, and it looks like exactly the same story here. So will that present any transmission failures, or maybe that's why people are getting loose on exit because they're trying to quickly shift to the gears and it kicks the car sideways? that's part of the strategy here at Gateway.
Yeah, and that's something too that a lot of these drivers they haven't had the chance to really toy around with right now. Is with the trucks. I mean, they would typically only downshift to third gear and then upshift to fourth coming off the corner. These Cup cars with this next gen, they have that extra gear, so it's a quick shift to fourth and then it's a quick shift to fifth on top of that, and then it's right back down again. So I mean, this track is almost raced as you see Wayne Grossi get way wicked loose off of turn 2 again, but they almost race this track like a Martinsville. Downshifting in the corners, coming back out again, but it's much bigger than Martinsville.
Yeah, it's that product of having a fifth gear in these Cup cars, and drivers are going to use it. They're going to use the gearbox to their complete advantage. You might not like the shifting aspect in an oval race, but if it's there, you want to get that competitive advantage, you are going to take it regardless if you're a fan of it or not. It's only going to help you. It's not going to hurt you. Especially being a simulated car, you don't have to worry about the wear and tear as much as you would in a real life situation. But yeah, they're going to be shifting quite a bit here, twice per straight. That's 4 times a lap, but 120 laps. Do the math. That's 800 times you're going to see these guys shift.
Which is, I mean, just astronomical when you're talking about an oval track like that. You would expect shifting counts like that for a road course because, I mean, that's to be expected with the corners and everything else. But, I mean, when you come to a track, especially the size of Worldwide Technology Raceway here at Gateway, it is astronomical just to realize how many times these guys are shifting, which that number is increased again with that extra gear in these next-gen gearboxes.
I have to correct my math. 800 is way off the mark. Still a lot. 120 times 4 is 480. So usually math's good, but tonight I forgot to bring my math book apparently. But needless to say, almost 500 times. Still a crazy amount for any type of oval race period.
Yeah, it really is. Like I said, I mean, you could expect that for something like a Martinsville, but I mean, when you look at the size of the track, and that's what I was getting at. When you look at the size of the track, that's really what kind of surprises you on that one there, that they're shifting that much. But again, with these sequential shifting gearboxes that these next-gen cars have, they're bringing something to this track. One, they've never raced at this track with this car before. First time that the Cup cars have been here. And two, they have that extra gear that the Cup cars, didn't have prior to this year.
Yeah, it's a different change-up, and a lot of these guys are learning how to use it to their advantage, especially at a track like this where you're not used to dropping it into third gear on a track that's almost 1.5 miles long. It's 1.25 miles here at this Worldwide Technology Raceway, and they are definitely utilizing it, as you saw with the onboard with Chuck Sweeting a few laps to go. But these guys have kind of spaced out, Dustin. We're approaching halfway, so I think it's going to be a great time to give a visual shout-out to all of our partners out there on Nerd TV, Nerditudes. So stay tuned. We're actually going to go side by side, and we'll be back with you in a few short moments.
Are you ready to chase the moonlight? Community-based and talent-driven, Moonlight Speed Concepts has what you need to take your iRacing experience to the next level. Founded by passionate owners that care about the community and housing some of the top setup builders and drivers on the platform, Moonlight Speed Concepts offers custom paints, driver coaching, and setups for dirt, asphalt short track racing, and eNASCAR competition. Partnered with top brands in both real world and simulation. Follow us on Facebook or visit moonlightspeed.com and find out why these businesses chase the moonlight and why you should too. Moonlight Speed Concept, where all we chase is moonlight.
As soon as we actually kick it back over to full screen coverage, caution has flown for the sixth time this evening here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Trying to figure out exactly where that caution came from, Dustin. I did not see anyone initially spin out or anything. I'm going to try to go through the field here and try to figure out exactly what happened for you guys about the sixth caution this evening.
Yeah. Unfortunate thing coming back from commercial like that, trying to see exactly where it came from on the behind the scenes portion of the production side. So it's a little bit harder, and like I said, feeling a little under the weather, so I'm not Johnny on the spot like I typically am most other nights.
Yeah, you're definitely the one who points it out to me before I even see it more times than not. And yeah, I'm not too sure where it came from. I didn't see any smoke. I didn't see any. Unless it kind of just snuck in on it.
It's going to be the 31 of Alex Murphy, right down the front stretch. Looks like had some issues coming off of turn number 4. We're going to bring that back up for replay right now. As you see him coming off of turn 4 right now, looks like again just gets loose, hard impact to the inside wall there. A little bit of network issue, and then comes back, so obviously looped it yet again, and that backup right there is what brought that yellow out.
Yeah, I see that there from your view, and it just looks like that. I think it's going through the gears, because it looks like he had a pretty solid exit. Well, he was going to, then something kicked his car sideways in a hurry. Not sure if it was a gear shift, but he had nailed him in the inside wall. Then he actually came back up the track. Thankfully, though, he was able to whip that wheel to the left, bring it back down to the inside wall. So nobody else harmed other than the 31, Alex Murphy himself. He's able to get that thing straight and back to pit road. So the crew is now servicing that number 31 Chevrolet Camaro to see if he can salvage what he can. But nose damage on a cup car is no good.
Yeah, as we see the 24 Stephen Llewellyn, I mean, he's still trying to battle back from that nose damage as well. And of course, the last time you can't really use that entirely on the nose damage is both him and Josh Johnson were out there on older tires. But Jeremy, I guarantee you they're using this opportunity to come in and get 4 fresh Goodyear.
Yeah, they saw exactly what the damage entails, and you better believe it. They got some 4 fresh Goodyears on those cars there. So kind of resets everything, and now they have to fight for to maintain and try to work their way back up. At least the 57, anyways. Of Mr. Johnson. He's going to be restarting right around your 15th spot here on this restart in about 2 laps.
I see some heavy damage on the right side of the 23, Jeremy. It looks like either he made a hard impact with the wall or another car, but I see some damage there, and it looks like some damage on the left side as well, maybe a little nose damage too, so possibly could have been a little something with him as he goes out and comes back in. Yeah, he's getting repairs, so he has substantial damage on that number 23 right now.
Yeah, I kind of noticed it too right before we were going back to the full screen coverage for the broadcast, and I was going to make a mention of it before the caution came out, but the newcomer 94 Alex Turpert, or Tupert rather, he was racing on the inside of Mr. Hanna, got into turn number 3, got a little loose. I don't know if his rear brake is set up a little too high, but the car kicked sideways on braking, shoved into the 23's left side just enough for him to hit the wall. It didn't look like it was much impact, but the damage on the car definitely overdoes what the actual story is. It was a very light hit, but that car looks destroyed as far as the iRacing damage model goes.
Yeah, this is going to shake up your top 5 running right now. Nicholas Moreau still up front, teammate Matthew Tremblay running in second. Another Moreau Motorsport driver, Jonathan Vachon, is in third. So Moreau Motorsport's holding the top 4 as Alex Tupert is also up there. But you have James Wallace up there as well now holding that final top 5 position. So I also see drivers such as Gil Gawk is up there. You see Ryan Hedrick is up there. Richie Coy fell all the way back to 8th. His Fury Motorsport teammate Tony Solari, after that wicked flip, look at this guy, just does not quit. Has got that number 11 Menards Ford Mustang up into the 9th place, up in the top 10, Jeremy.
Really impressive stuff, all considering his damage and what we've... And actually his... I didn't realize it, but the crew got the hood back on that thing, which surprises me even so, but... Looks like they actually extended the caution one more time. We were about to get prepared for a green flag start here, and they have moved it one more lap. But if you notice, Dustin, look who's in that top 4. They're all the same teammates.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Moreau Motorsports, I mean, we talked about it during the pre-race show presented by Martin Sports. I mean, they're bringing the heat tonight. They're picking up right where they left off. I mean, you've got, they hold 4 out of the top 5 positions right now, and that's a 5-car team. They're only short 1 team driver right now out of that, and that's Matthew Vachon back in 15th position right now. So they're coming on strong. Like it's going to be interesting. I look forward to see the battles that Moreau Motorsports and the other teams like Fury Motorsports, Rumble Racing, Gladiators of Racing, all of them have to do. And I love having more teams come in here because, I mean, it just amplifies the competitiveness here. But I just from last season to this season, I mean, you're seeing a drastic change right now, especially for that Moreau Motorsports camp.
Yeah, huge shift for sure. A couple of quick shout-outs in the chat. I know they're kind of late. It's been a while. But I saw Carrie in there saying, "Go, Speed Racer, go." And then Sylvain Jolly. Now, I'm going to butcher this probably, but you can correct me. Bon chance les Québécois. If I have to take a shot at my French, which not good at all. I don't.
Sounded legit to me.
Sounds legit to you. I'll take it. That means one person's satisfied with it, anyways. But we are going back to green flag action, and 3, 2, 1. Green flag is out for the 6th restart this evening. 25 this time. First time he started on the front row with his teammate. He quickly gives it up to the 15 there, entering turn number 1. He knows the 15 has the preferred lane. Why fight him? They're going to single file out quickly here to the top 5. You got James Wallace in the 47. Ryan Hedrick, the furthest he's been up in the field, started in 15th. He's found himself in 6th place, Dustin.
Yeah, currently right now up 10 positions from his start. Just cracked the top 5 for the first time tonight, but you can't count out James Wallace either. Last year, rookie runner, up 13 positions right now as he's battling Ryan back for that 5th place. Just took it back going off into the next corner here into turn 3. So it's or actually that's turn 1. See, I'm even getting my corners all mixed up. So but look at this gaggle of racing back behind here, led by Chuck Sweeting right now. You got his teammate Gil Gawk there, Richie Coy, Wayne Grossi's there. You got Tony Solari, Brian Bliss. I mean, these guys, are just 2 by 2 by 2, like 4 rows deep.
Yeah, they're really scattered around here, trying to figure out where they need to be. I noticed 19 did drop off. I think he restarted 6th, fell back to 9th temporarily for whatever reason, and he found himself in that gaggle of cars there. And they've kind of single filed out here for the most part. Brody Hanna trying to get underneath the 14. Outside, Brody Hanna actually got loose off of turn number 2, able to save it. Looks like they're going to be almost 3 wide entering, or halfway down the backstretch, but they go back to 2 by 2. You see Tony Solari's teammate with an injured car, not able to keep up with the 23. 23 is going to go around him, 37 around the 11 as well. And they're going to kind of get this thing figured out.
Yeah, I almost was wondering if that the 23 of Brody Hanna getting loose like that wasn't a reaction of the 85 of Gil Gauck, because it looked like he got loose as well. I know that I'm usually one that'll sit here and do that. I'll sit here and play with the throttle. Hard impact by Tony Solari. Does collect a couple cars on that one there. Not what Tony was wanting tonight with that, but definitely looks like he collected the 0-2 on that one as well. The 44 of Beck, and it looks like Martin Garreau in the 50 also collected in that incident.
Oh, man, that's such a... it's so bad to see that. 11 was just trying to stay out of the way and overshot the exit of the corner. Slams that wall really hard here. It almost looked like the tire was going down for a moment. He shot up the track, and then that wall just, with the Dover aspect, just came out and said, hello. Shoved him deep through the 0-2 of Josh Mayu. You got the 50, you said Martin Garreau, and the 44 Chris Beck. Those 4 guys, heavy damage involved. I think everybody else was able to escape for the most part. Yeah, it looks like 17 barely able to escape, and the 31 as well. So 4 cars on caution number 7.
Yeah, we're going on board with Steve Loomis right now. It's because this happened right in front of him, and I think he was able to squeak through it. And just look at that gaggle of cars in front of him, just able to just truck right on by. So, yeah, I mean, unfortunate. Again, collected a number of drivers there. Tony Solari in the 11. You had the 0-2 of Josh Mayu was collected, the 50 of Martin Garreau, and the 44 of Chris Beck, all collected in that incident.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate, too, because the 11 was just trying to stay out of the way. So, and then that happens, and it's just, I know those guys were in the back, but it's tough to see. I really hate to see when people are getting involved in wrecks. They're truly not supposed to be there. They're just, riding along, trying to get up to the front essentially, and just something like that just takes it out of their hands. But thankfully, like the 44, his right front damage isn't terrible. I think Martin Garreau, it's a lot of cosmetic damage. So they actually might be pretty okay. They're going to probably spend a minute or 2 with their pit crew. Get a new drink, get a new snack while the repairs are being made. But I think they might be okay, Dustin.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, it helps that, again, that this track is not an aero-heavy dependent, track when it comes to that. As you see, the 44 of Beck's coming down pit road, 31 of Alex Murphy's coming down as well. Tony Solari also coming down. So Josh Mayu is just now exiting pits, repairing a little bit. His car does not look that bad either, and that white Runts Wonka-sponsored car. I like that all white, though. That's kind of a cool little feature there. Nice little paint scheme. But, like you said, it's an unfortunate thing because, Tony was just trying to get out of everybody's way. He knew his car was already on its roof once. So that's why he was up, on the high side like that, just trying to give way. And, I mean, this track, it's tough at times, especially with the differing turns like that between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it comes out and just bites you like that. And, again, turn 2.
I'm really glad that iRacing didn't bring the actual durability of the actual next-gen car onto the service, because those guys would have had broken toe links, broken axles of some kind, probably had a flat tire.
Somebody's tire would have popped up underneath it and rolled them down the front stretch.
Yeah, anything could have happened, but thankfully these cars are a lot more durable in the sim world. So they just, get their cosmetics repaired and send them back on their way, and they should be okay.
So we are under our 7th caution presented by iRacing iFlag. So again, that is your flag marshalling system. That 64 LED system gives you all of your flag calls and relays, as well as some spotter commands, lets you know who's high, who's low. Very bright little package there. Very reasonably priced as well. You can get the iFlag unit itself, and you can get a digital pit board, which gives you on-screen telemetry as far as gas usage. It updates depending on your driving, how hard or how easy you are driving it. Tells you what your pit window is. So, nifty little system that they have there, Jeremy. Quite nice system as well. Take a look at all the products they have. They got an awesome looking website at iracingiflag.com. Use promo code SUPERNERD. Save you a little bit on your purchase.
I tell you, I know some people that always stay high and some people that always stay low. So I don't know if I need a unit specifically for those people. But iRacing iFlag getting some action tonight on our 7th caution. And every time the caution does come out, on the top right-hand side of your screen on top of the tower, you find their logo blinking. So excellent coverage from them tonight anyways, as they're showing off the yellow flags, the green flags. Some more later on tonight with the white checker, but looks like pace car is down. So for the 7th restart, we're going to see Nicholas Moreau once again take first place. Matthew Tremblay also going to be starting in 2nd place once again. Chuck Sweeting this time looks like he's going to be in there in 4th place. Gets a pretty good restart with that 15. Let's see if he can carry that momentum and try to get around the 25.
Yeah, all over the back end of the 15 and Nicholas Moreau. He will have that preferred line with the 19 of Richie Coy in tow. Chuck Sweeting does clear Tremblay. Richie Coy jumps down to the inside here trying to hold that run. Don't know if he's going to have it, though. Looks like he may pull back up behind the 25 of Tremblay. But, again, Richie Coy and Chuck Sweeting both on the move, moving up now, both in the top 5.
Yeah, and Chuck Sweeting put on some great pressure. He's now to the outside of your race leader, Nicholas Moreau, and Chuck Sweeting, new race leader for the 3rd leader tonight in that 75 Gator Racing Chevrolet Camaro. Just clears the 15 down the front stretch, and now he's going to pull on him by 2 or 3 car length on exit, and the 15 gets a little loose actually there. So great restart here by Chuck, as he's going to keep that momentum entering turn number 3. And then 19 with a great recovery, who was back in that 8th or 9th place with those Gagwell cars before that caution. He's sitting there in 4th, trying to get around that 25 for 3rd, and he goes to the outside and tries to open that window.
Yeah, trying to put the nose on the outside there to try to set up. I mean, these drivers are going to try to set up for that next corner. And if Richie Coy could have had that nose on that outside coming off of turn 4, that was going to put him in the best place possible to have that preferred line going into 1 and 2. But Richie Coy says, hell, I don't need that. So he's going to try it on the inside here. They're neck and neck going down the backstretch. Richie Coy's got a hell of a run as they're both diving it off into 3. Richie Coy, mark him up to that 3rd position.
We got a spinner in the back. It crosses back in front of the traffic, and some cars involved. Caution is out for the 8th time this evening. Trying to go back and see who that was. It looks like it might have been one of the, number 55, one of the Moreau Motorsports machines. That being of Jonathan Vachon. Got loose in turn number 3. Hits the grass, corrects back to the right in front of that Brian Dublé in the 37. Heavy impact from them, but thankfully only 2 cars involved, as it brings out your 8th caution this evening.
Did you see how close the 44 of Chris Beck came to the 55 of Jonathan Vachon as he was coming back down the track? I mean, if that's not enough right there to sit here and need a new driver suit when you come back into pit road, I don't know what is, because that was close. We're going to take an onboard here of the 44 of Chris Beck as all that was happening. That, I mean, there's close calls, and I tell you what, I don't think you can get any closer than that, Jeremy.
Yeah, I think we have a visor cam specifically on this 44, just like we do with a lot of other guys. And it's going to take us through a first-person perspective, rather. What exactly happened? You see him entering turn number 3 here. You see the wreck happening right here, and then he sees the crazy, like, oh, no, 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 and just, man. After the replay, it's still really close, but when you're in the live moment, that's a pucker up moment right there.
Absolutely. All day long is that, and that's one of those that's, as a driver, you have to, once it's all said and done, you're sitting in the driver's seat going, oh shit, that was close. In the moment, man, it's your reaction time and everything takes over, but when your mind finally catches up with what's going on, you realize exactly how close it was.
Yeah, for sure. Now we see Matthew Vachon, actually, he's the one he backed out of the event a little bit ago. One of the Murrow Motorsports in the 55 there involved in that. So a couple of their team members having a little bit of issues here. It's going to bring Richie Coy up to second place here on the scoreboard, sitting right behind that 75. Wayne Grossi there on his own, Wayne Grossi Racing. He's in third place. And then you see Brody Hanna up in the fourth place. The second Fury Motorsports to crack the top 5. You see like Lane Allen even behind him in fifth place. That's the first time he's seen top 5. So all of a sudden, with some pit strategies, we see a mixture of guys here that haven't been up in the front.
Yeah, and I mean, what does 40 laps change? I mean, it was 30, 40 laps ago we were talking about Murrow Motorsports holding 4 out of the top 5 positions, and now there's none of the drivers for Murrow Motorsports up there in the top 5 right now. Now you see 2 Fury Motorsports drivers up there. You see a Gator Racing driver, like you said. You see Wayne Grossi up there. I mean, everything changes on this one. But again, I mean, you see those 3 those 3 Murrow Motorsports drivers. They're sticking together in 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th rather, being Nicholas, Matthew, and Alex. So I mean, we're 84 laps into 120 total distance right now, so we're 36 laps away from the checkered flag, Jeremy.
Yeah, Lane Allen and Steve Loomis, they're sitting in 5th and 8th place right now. That's 2 of the Blackwater Motorsports cars as well. So 2 of them in the top 10. We haven't seen that in quite a few races, so looks like they're finally getting their groove here, at least at Gateway anyways. So being a lap number 84 of 120, we're going to have about 35 laps probably before this thing goes back to green flag, which they are lining up double file. That means they got 1 more lap to go. So it will be a 35 lap shootout to the end. Hoping to see a green flag run. We've seen some cautions that set up strategies, but I'm sure the guys like 75 of the 19 are like, you know what, the fast guys are in the back here. We have a great moment to bring home a podium finish. Let's just have this thing go green and give them everything that we're worth.
Yeah, and like you had mentioned Steve Loomis, I mean, remember, I mean, some of these drivers they've worked their tails off to get to where they're at. Steve Loomis had that near miss with that accident with Tony Solari that collected Martin Garreau and Chris Beck, and the 0-2 as well of Josh Mayu. He sat here and squeaked by on that. So I mean, these drivers, I mean, they've been working on it. They've been playing strategy and putting themselves in position right now. But like you said, we're coming back for our 8th restart right now. Going to be coming back with 35 laps to go left in this racing event. Pace car does take that hard left-hander right before the barrels. I'm kind of wondering if they ever hit the barrels every once in a while. But again, you see Chuck Sweeting learn from his prior mistakes, and you see where that leader's starting, Jeremy, is we got that green flag flies. 75 of Sweeting, 19 of Coy on the inside, side by side as they go off into turn 1. If anything tells us the 75 of Sweeting should prevail on this one, having that preferred line, but we know Richie Coy as well. He doesn't give it up lightly, but it does look like Chuck Sweeting will take that first place. 19 of Coy falls in line in second.
Yeah, right before that caution, Richie Coy made an excellent pass for third place, just diamonding off turn 1 and 2. I was really surprised by it. So he's got a really strong looking forward Mustang right now, at least on the bottom side of 1 and 2, which we have not seen too many cars be super dominant down there. So let's see if that's one of the strategies he plays out here to finish himself maybe in first place. As he has put some... Oh, we got the 23 Brody Hanna heading to the wall. Oh. The 15 of your pole sitter, Nicholas Murrow. Josh Mayu involved. 3-car incident for your 9th caution this evening on lap 87.
Yeah, hard impact on that one. It could almost look like there possibly could have been a little net code with that too. I did see the 23 of Brody Hanna. I mean, he drove it through 3 and 4. He took a wide corner through there, gave him a great run off, but as they were coming into turn 1, I mean, both him and Wayne Grossi were carrying, I mean, just a full sail of speed here, and he cut it down there, and it looks like there possibly could have been a little bit of net code on that one there, but you see the 15 collected in that one. Steve Loomis looks like he gets by. Looks like the 0-2 of Mayu involved in that one as well. So a lot of cars. We're going to get an onboard with Nicholas Murrow on this one as well, as all this was happening right in front of him.
Yeah, I was kind of listening to the chat here with the drivers about that wreck there, and going back and look at it, you guys are going to see it here on your replay some more. You see right now, it looks like we're on board with Hannah. Oh, no, that's Hannah.
That's
who
Nicholas
drills
Moreau.
Hannah. That's Moreau in that 15. It's hard to tell. You can't really customize your gloves too much, but just drove it in there, and it was a cluster. You basically had nowhere to go. It came up quick. I don't know if enough brake could have saved them from that. I definitely agree with you, Dustin. There was some net code between the 23 and the 7. Looked like the 7, it looks like he wanted to hug the second groove. It looked like the 23 expect him to go to the bottom. So the 7 came up a little. The 23 diamond off the entrance, going down low into it. So it was just kind of one of those things where they both aimed for the same part of the track at the same time, plus a little net code disadvantage, and that brings out your 9th caution this evening.
Yeah, we're going to try to get a little bit better of a view on that side impact there, because that's the unfortunate thing that we have to deal with here is net code, unfortunately.
And they always say it gets better than these next-gen cars come out, which they're good on the other cars, but for this next-gen, they just don't like each other.
There was like a 1.5 2 foot of net code on that one there, unfortunately.
Yeah. For some reason, these next gen produce a lot more net code than some others. So, you hate to see it because that's definitely. I mean, I don't know if they probably would have made contact if it wasn't, for net code. If they would have drove side by side, there might have been something. But that net code definitely was like, "Hey, you guys are going around. This too close for my comfort." So, did send him around, and that's huge impact for that 15. He hit 23, and then the 02 of Josh Mayu came in and just slammed his left front tire. So there could be some toe issues there in that 15. You see that bumper off right now, getting those repairs made. That's going to drop him back probably to 14th or 15th place, depending on when he can get out of pit road.
Yeah, unfortunately, that right there is going to knock the 15 of Nicholas Moreau, your pole sitter and race winner from last week's Charlotte race, out of contention for the win tonight. With that contact. So right now, Moreau Motorsports having a difficult night tonight with a couple of their cars damaged or off the track right now. So you got both Vachon's currently off track or laps behind. Nicholas Moreau's going to be off pace. So that's gonna open the door wide open for a number of other drivers. Because right now, I mean, the only competitive Moreau Motorsports driver that they have out there is Alex Tupert in that 94.
And he's not doing a bad job, currently sitting in 7th place. So let's see if he can kind of hold the torch up for his team for the remaining 30 laps scheduled as they cross the line now for, I think, 1 lap to go. As they
I stand corrected.
Side.
I stand corrected. They got 2 of them. I forgot about Matthew Tremblay. Sorry, Matthew. I was looking for another one. I knew there was another one out. We went from last week having 4 drivers to this week having 5. So my mathematician, I ran out of digits there.
Looks like both of us don't know how to math tonight, but it's
Right.
fine. We didn't. This isn't the mathitudes. This is the nerditudes. So, but yeah, we're not used to seeing 5 drivers out there on one team as well. So I don't really blame you too much. But yeah, they're sitting in 6th and 7th place. So there's still some teamwork here to go. Really curious. The 18, Brian Bliss, this is the furthest we've seen him. He's in 4th place. That 18, the only Camry that's been in the field since 2022. A little bit of rear end damage, not by much, but he's able to keep that thing clean and found himself into 4th place. So I'm kind of surprised to see him up there. Let's see what he's got to kind of do what he can do for these final 30 laps.
Yep. I mean, that's what it's going to have to be. I mean, this right now is a time where these drivers are going to have to buckle down. I mean, it's run what you brung at this point in time. It's all or nothing. This track here, I can tell you there's going to be a number of drivers that are going to be ready to have this race here in the books and moving on to next week's race. But right now we're coming up to that green flag. Chuck Sweeting restarting on that outside preferred line. Green flag flies. Excellent restart by the 75. 19 of Richie Coy on the inside. Starting to gain up as they go side by side into turn 1. 75 of Chuck Sweeting should prevail on the exit, and he does. Richie Coy will fall in line behind him. Brian Bliss right now. Brian Bliss.
Another car around. Sorry to interrupt. The number 7, Wayne Grossi, spins out in front of the field. It shoots the 17 of Loomis into the wall. 57, Joshua Johnson is around. I think this was after the fact the 7 cut up in front of the track, maybe because of trying to avoid. But it does bring out your 10th caution this evening on lap 92. And it does look like the 17 woed up for the 7. The 57 tagged him into the rear, sent him into the grass, and the 57 lost control. Hits the outside wall. Everybody else avoids. 3-car wreck, 10th caution.
10th caution tonight, which is something that we typically don't see at Full Throttle Sim Racing. But again, these cars here, as you see the 7 of Wayne Grossi get back there, and you're going to see the 17 of Loomis get tagged as he goes right there. He goes right on by, and you're going to see the 57. He spun right there. So again, typically we don't see a lot of these cautions here at Full Throttle Sim Racing. But again, first time that we have seen these cars at this track. So Jeremy, their notebook is very much like yours. I mean, it's pretty much fresh, and what they think they know about the track, they probably don't know much about the track.
What I've noticed is turn 2 is hell, turn 4 is great, which I expected turn 2 to possibly be the trouble area. What I've really noticed is the overcorrections. Once these guys get loose, I think every single spin out in turn number 2 by getting loose by yourself has resulted in a guy trying to overcorrect to the right to keep it straight. And these cars in this track, the setup does not like you trying to overcorrect it. So it shoots them up to the center of the surface every single time, which has put a lot of these guys in this predicament of where do I go? Where do I go? And you saw the 17 had nowhere to go but to check up. And the 57 drilled him because he had nowhere to go because of smoke. You see your onboard right here. Just you saw the smoke and things already happened, but it just kind of shows, how things happen in a hurry here at Gateway.
Yeah, that was the 50 of Martin Garreau passing Wayne Grossi after he got loose there. And then you see the 57 of Josh Johnson come up, and Garreau taking evasive maneuvers to get right on back around him without any contact. So good heads-up drivers are driving by a lot of the drivers out there on track, especially with the 57 of Josh Johnson. That's exactly what he did, just a little bit of correction to try to save it. And, I mean, it doesn't take much. These cars here take a little bit of correction, and they amplify it by about 15, and that's, I mean, they just get snappy loose and just whip the opposite way.
It's just that, I keep mentioning it's that forgiveness in these low-profile tires. They get loose, and typically in the old car, you can turn it to the right a little bit, and it won't overshoot you immediately, but these guys, they're trying to keep it going. They're trying not to hit the wall, but any motion of that wheel to the right, and the thing hooks real quick, so definitely a learning curve, being at a new venue with the Cup cars and a new car. It's just everything's new about this race for the real world and for the simulation world. So definitely a learning curve to get around, and it's taken 10 cautions and almost 100 laps to try to figure this out. But, we still got 20 laps of racing before this thing goes green. And the 19 and the 75, definitely liking this right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're ticking laps off. It's right now they're some of their biggest competitors, because I mean every driver out there is a potential challenge for that race win, but some of their big challengers that they had been battling with early on in the race, being Nicholas Moreau, is out on damage. It's a lot of heavy hitters. A lot of drivers have gotten damaged. It's going to knock their performance of their car down. That has really changed the aspect of this this race here in the closing 25 laps. Is we're going to go back to green with about 24 laps to go, as they're getting the one to go this time by. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what's going on. I mean, our top 5 right now, you got Chuck Sweeting, Richie Coy. Again, they always find each other out there duking it out. Brian Bliss and Matthew Tremblay. Tremblay from Moreau Motorsports still up there in the top 5. You got Lane Allen still up there in the top 5. Alex Tupert, again with another Moreau Motorsports driver, is right up there as well. Brody Hanna, even after that incident and contact, still up there in the top 10. Ryan Hendrick. I always want to put an N in his name. I just see that and my mind just instantly goes to Hendrick. But Ryan Hedrick is up there in that top 10 as well. Wayne Grossi, after that last caution come out, still in the top 10. And Brian Dublé rounds out that final top 10 position. So again, our whole top 10 has been jumbled and moved around, and I mean, we're seeing names up there that, I mean, it's awesome to see up there, and I can't wait to see exactly what's going to happen with 25 to go.
Doesn't help, but that the number 47's first name is Ryan. It's really close. It's a 4-letter R name, kind of like Rick. So Rick Hendrick, Ryan Hendrick. I can absolutely see why you're having issues with that. And I first saw his name, and I
Happens every
had to
time.
correct myself quite a bit myself early on, but we're going back to green flag action here. We got just 24 laps to settle this thing out. Green flag is in the air, hopefully for the last time this evening. Let's see if these guys can get a nice little 20-lap stint here and get the job done. See the 19 Richie Coy trying to fight hard on that 75 there on the outside, and does push him up the track just a little bit, able to keep his momentum. The first time we've seen the inside kind of do anything there, is battling for the race lead. The 19 has the preferred line entering turn number 3. 75, Chuck Sweeney is going to try to make it. What amazing amount of grip he had there in entrance number 3, but he had to give it up. Turn 4 came up quick. 19 clears 75. Richie Coy, first time in the lead, racing on lap number 98.
Yeah, and that was an amazing start right there. It was a 75 of Sweeting loose as he has to gather it back up. He's going to lose potentially two more positions. Oh, as we have a car loose going to the inside. That was Brian Bliss. No caution as he's able to come back up on the track safely, but a lot of left side damage on that one there. That looked like that was a reaction to the 75 of Chuck Sweeting trying to gather the car back up. But with all that happening, Matthew Tremblay passed Chuck Sweeting there and is now on the inside, led that lap right now, but he is fighting Richie Coy side by side as they go through 1 and 2. This is a dead heat battle right here. Tremblay trying to sit here and get to that top spot for the first time tonight. Richie Coy trying to hold that top spot as we got 22 laps to go as they drive it off into turn 3.
18 reacted to the 75, you are correct, and then the 94 could not check up in time. They got into the back bumper, the 18, and sent him to the grass, and that's what happened there. But green flag is still out. 25 does clear Richie Coy this time off of turn number 4, coming up to lap number 100 of scheduled 120. 21 laps to go. Can Richie Coy get back around that 25 to get back into the race lead?
And what we're going to need is we're going to need green flag racing on this one here. The cautions are only going to play, a bigger factor on that one to see exactly what they have. The good thing is if there happens to be another caution, doesn't matter what lane Richie Coy starts in. We've seen him able to take that top spot on the high side, and we've seen him take it on the low side just on this last restart. So that's something that if the caution would happen to come out right now, that's something that Matthew Tremblay has got to keep in the back of his mind. He's going to have to be Johnny on it. But right now, it's not what's in the back of his mind. It's what's in his rearview mirrors. You see the 19 of Richie Coy is trying to chase him down, but don't count out Chuck Sweeting. We have our 11th caution out on the Speedway journey.
Oh, no. Wayne Grossi up on over his lid in turn number 1. Heavy impact with Brody Hanna. Once again, those two come about for the second time themselves this evening. And I'm going to... I know I don't think you watched the race, Dustin, on Sunday, but this had the great vibes of Denny Hamlin, Ross Chastain, where the 23 said, hey, I know you wrecked me last time. Locks up the brakes and slams him hard in the wall. Brody Hanna looks like he just destroyed the 7 there with the injured car, brake checking the 7. Definitely gave me the Ross Chastain, Denny Hamlin vibes right there.
Oh, for sure. I don't know. The 23 went down low. I don't know what was going on with the 7 on that one there as he followed him low. I don't know if Brody was trying to give him the room and give him the lane going in the corner. But Jeremy, I'd have to agree. We're on board with Wayne Grossi right now. Yeah, I don't know what was going on that one there, but that was a hard turn right up into the outside wall from Brody Hanna as they both went down. I don't know if that was a product of hitting those rumble strips and coming back up the track in that car again. Those low profiles, like what you talked about, just getting loose. It, I don't know. That was just a bad turn of events.
Yeah, I mean, so I know in chats they're going at it right now, but Brody, I mean, if you go on board with his hands, you see it right here. He just turns right. So I'm not too sure what the initial caution was for, minus the net code. I don't think there's anything going on, but that second one definitely had the vibes of a reaction there.
Yeah. But that's for the admins to discuss and figure out. But yeah, definitely had some vibes. So like you said, I mean, it looks like the simulated Worldwide Technology Raceway here at Gateway definitely produces some of the intense racing action and on-track racing that the real Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway presented for the Cup drivers this past Sunday.
The simulation is quite real here. They simulated yesterday's race. Seeing very similar action with the 3 and 4 wide, seeing the cat chase here with two cars that previously got wrecked with each other. You know, it's very similar to the Sunday race for sure at this point. That is your 11th caution. We're on lap number 104, it looks like this time around. We'll probably have 2 laps or so before these guys go back to green flag. So 106, it's going to bring them to 15 laps to go. Dustin, I know it might be still a little too early with all these cautions and whatnot, but predictions, who do you think might have a chance at this?
All right. Well, it's for one, it looks like Richie Coy and Chuck Sweeting. I know that they were not running 5th and 6th prior to that caution, so it looks like that they possibly could have come down pit road to the service of their crew. And if that is the case, I was going back and getting replay footage, so I didn't get a chance to really verify or double check that. Maybe you can double check that before they did. I would have to put my money on the 19 and the 75. I mean, Matthew Tremblay has been running a superb race, been doing fantastic. So has Tupert and Lane Allen, James Wallace. But again, you go back to facts. We've seen what the difference, even 5-10 lap, difference in tires can make. And right now, those top 4 are all on older tires, and you've got Richie Coy and Chuck Sweeting, which we know that they got fast hot rods. They got fresh tires. 17 or 16 laps to go. By the time we sit here and go back green, it's going to be 15 to go. That's still plenty of time to really work those tires and push those tires and still have plenty left over. I think the 25 of Matthew Tremblay and the 94 of Alex Tupert for Moreau Motorsports. Not saying they can't get it done, but I think here in a few laps they're going to have their hands full big time.
Yeah, the 3 guys that pitted that are up to speed, maybe even 4, Richie Coy, Chuck Sweeting, and Ryan Hedrick, 5th, 6th, and 7th. They're on 4 fresh sets of Goodyears. At 37, Brian Dublé, also with 4 set of tires freshened up on that machine. Now, his car is pretty beat up all the way around for the most part. Speed-wise, I think he's still doing pretty all right, hanging up there in 8th place right now. So the top 5 are going to be having a huge hand, or top 4 rather, going to have a huge handful of these guys because we know they're bad fast. And they just got to get around them, which at Gateway has been proven to be a little tricky to pass people.
Yeah, it definitely has. Like I said, not saying they can't get it done, and if anybody can, it's going to be one of those drivers up in the top 4, but it's going to be a challenge nonetheless. But we're going to find out in 15 short laps as a green flag is ready to fly. As a green flag is out. Excellent start by the 25 of Matthew Tremblay right now over his teammate, Alex Tupert. Tupert's going to fall in line. You see that 75 back there on that high side. Richie Coy on that low side as they're going through 2 by 2. You see Lane Allen and James Wallace side by side. So right now they're 2 by 2 battling for that 3rd position to see who is actually going to get this out.
Richie Coy and Chuck Sweeting are like, hey, I need to go. This is my time. You see Chuck Sweeting going 3 wide on the top, trying to make it stick. There's just not enough grip there on the top. Still going to get a decent launch off of turn number 4. Richie Coy so far the fastest driver of those 3 cars that are up to speed on 4 fresh sets of Goodyears. Chuck Sweeting's going to follow right behind him on the inside lane, getting around that 67, which to make a little contact there entering turn number 1. They still keep going straight, no harm, no foul there. It's going to bring Chuck Sweeting up to, looks like, back to 5th place. And the new tires aren't going as fast as I originally thought they would on these first few laps here.
Yeah, but again, I mean, that they were side by side 2 by 2 there for about a lap to lap and a half or so. They had to wait for it to get singled out. Now that it's singled out, I mean, you're seeing Richie Coy and Chuck Sweeting pick off a driver a lap right now. So, I mean, they're putting down some pretty blistering times, and they still got plenty of time. There's 13 laps left. It's a 1.25 mile track. I mean, they still got time to do it. As you see Richie Coy all over second place right now. There he goes with that run. You seen that backfire there. He's shifting that number 19 gear wrench Ford Mustang off into turn 3. He goes. Mark Richie Coy up to second. He only has one driver now to chase down, and he's got almost 12 laps, a little over 12 laps left to do it. Plenty of time, Jeremy.
Plenty of time, and at the rate he's going, you are correct. Once they got around the cars that are side by side, and they just picked them off one car per lap, basically. And caution is out for the 12th time this evening. They're going to line them up side by side. And the caution this time looks like Joshua Johnson, the 57, involved coming off of turn number 4. Brian Bliss in the 18 actually got loose, hit the outside wall. First time we've seen a car loose on exit of 4. And it collects the 57 down the front stretch. So 2 cars involved. Gil Gawk barely misses that. And so do the 44. Great heads-up driving there. 31 slaps the wall a little bit. Also trying to avoid the 57. So a couple cars damaged on this. You see it right here. 18 up into the wall. Comes down to the 57. Barely clips his right rear. Sends him up the track. Gil Gawk barely misses. 44 squeezes by. And that spin right there brings out the caution for the 11th time.
We have to go on board with Gil Gawk because that was close beyond close.
Yeah, you're not kidding. That probably not even 2 feet separated him from.
There was one.
57.
There was 2.
Man.
Oh my. Amazing heads-up driving by Gil Gawk on that one. That was a good bit of serpentining big time down the front stretch.
Yeah, that great heads up, great way to maneuver that car between 2 wrecks, and from that onboard camera, there was not much reaction time left to have. So just huge shout out to Gil Gawk and that 85 Gator Racing Chevrolet to kind of weave and wob his way through the front stretch to avoid that wreck.
I tell you what, though, it's Gil Gawk is definitely one person that did not want to see that caution come out, especially how close 2 calls were on that right there to miss it. But one person that definitely did not want to see that caution come out was that driver on your screen right now, Matthew Tremblay, because that now puts Richie Coy with those 4 fresher tires than that 25 machine right alongside of him for the restart. By the time we get this done, we're going to cycle around probably at about 8 laps left in the event, Jeremy. We're going to see what's going to go on. As you see, the 17 is Steve Loomis. Looks like he is going to receive your Martin Sports hashtag Get a Grip Lucky Dog driver of the race. So go get yourself a lap back there, Steve. He's going to circle back around, join the tail end of the lap again. The Lucky Dog award presented by Martin Sports. Excellent gloves, excellent apparel. Check them out, martinsports906.com.
Yeah, this has been an eventful race. We haven't shown you all the Lucky Dog awards presented by Martin Sports. We know this is the second time that we've counted Steve Loomis getting this award tonight. But there's been 12 cautions, and a lot of stuff's been going around the racetrack. This has not been a calm, usual, green flag all the way, who's got the best setup. This is more like just a brawl, so to speak, to try to get to this checker flag here, being 12 cautions and 120 laps. That's averaging 10 green flag laps per caution. And sometimes going through all these different replays and camera angles, and we haven't kept up with all the award winners that are getting their laps back. So this time that does bring Steve Loomis back to the race, lead lap rather. It's going to put him about 12th place after everything cycles through, which 23 have started and 12 on the lead lap. So about half of the cars are 1 lap down, half of them are on the lead lap. And I don't think we're done, Dustin. I think we probably have one more caution or so before this thing's over.
Yeah, well, I mean, cautions breed cautions, especially when you get to these shorter tracks like that. I mean, it's like that at every track, but it seems like when you get to that 1.25 mile, 3/4 mile, half mile, right around there, the cautions definitely breed more cautions. These drivers know they're running out of time. They're trying to get as much real estate as they possibly can. And I mean, that's the byproduct of it. I mean, that's the byproduct of racing. I mean, shit happens.
Yeah, you're not kidding there. This is the first time at Gateway, and so a lot of new variables here, and people want to win this race. This is one of the ones they've gotten really excited for, especially watching the racing that happened this past weekend. in the real world, and they want it. They want the trophy on their shelf. So this is part of that product as well, that you're seeing why there's been so many wrecks, is that everyone's trying to fight for the same spot.
Yeah, and I mean, and who wouldn't? I mean, who wouldn't want to be the inaugural winner at Worldwide Technology Raceway here at Gateway? I mean, that's a prize and a statistic that only one person can ever hold. So, I mean, who wouldn't want to put that on their mantle here at Full Throttle Sim Racing? We're going to find out here in about 7 laps here on exactly whose name is going to be on that plaque for that trophy.
25, Matthew Tremblay, and the 19, Richie Coy, having some fun on open comms, saying 25 was like, hey, Richie, guess where I'm starting? And Richie was like, the inside, with the laugh, and 25's like, nope, I'm on the outside. So having a little bit of fun up here for the first and second place. They got their game face on, and with some jokes aside, so this should be fun between these two alone. And Chuck Sweeting, he wants to make up for getting loose on that last little amount of green flag laps here, as the green flag is out here for the 12th time tonight. And entering turn number 1, the 19 is going to shoot off into turn number 1, pushes up a little bit, makes a little contact actually with the 75, and it gets him loose and heavy impact to the outside wall. Chuck Sweeting is back to the pack. He holds it up against the wall though. No caution, only harm to him. He's going to lose every single spot on the green, on the opening green flag on this restart, all the way back to 13th. And the 19, though, still putting that pressure on the 25.
Unfortunate on that one there, going off into turns 1 and 2 like that, and just slightest bit of contact. But with the racing being as close as what it is, Jeremy, especially between the 25 and the 19, is a little bit of contact there. Richie Coy letting Matthew Tremblay know that he's there. I think this is a perfect time to really break out those sound systems and really let that audio shine.
Man, he drove it in there so hard, it almost had... I keep referring to the Sunday race, but it almost looked like Ross Chastain driving up into the Denny Hamlin bumper, but thankfully there was no car contact that time around. It shows the 19's really digging. He shoved up the last corner, or 2 corners ago in turn 1, and that's how him and Chuck Sweeting got involved. And then he almost tagged the back of the 25 this time, so he's thrown everything and the kitchen sink at this 25 as we're at 5 laps to go.
Yeah, 5 laps to go. The 19 of Richie Coy still trying to chase down the 25. Like I said, I mean, Moreau Motorsports has brought the heat and everything else. If anybody can hold off the charges of the 20 or the 19 of Richie Coy, it's going to be somebody from that camp. But right now, the 19 has got that nose on the inside of the 25. He's going to have that lane going in. It's going to be a close battle. Are they going to be able to hold their line going through 1 and 2, the tighter turn? As you see the 19 drift up just a little bit, so close. Run coming off, a little bit of bumping, but it looks like the 19 of Richie Coy prevails, takes that top spot.
He's got those fresher tires, and man, he had to rough them up just a little bit on exit, but he was able to get the job done. 19 to the point with inside 4 laps to go, and Brody Hanna hit the 94 there in the middle of 3 and 4. Not sure what was going on there, drove him way up the track. Brody has got a little bit of issue going on here tonight with a couple of drivers, it seems like. I don't know if he just missed the corner, but he's a lap down, I think. So, huge. Usually he's 2 laps down. Huge little move there, but don't take the focus off that 19. Is we got 2.5 laps to go at this race. 25, about 5 car lengths back. James Wallace with an impressive, now sitting in 3rd place run here. And the 94 gets into the 23 again as they still have issues, and then it caused the 94 to wreck in front of the 14. Just before 2 laps to go, you're going to find your 13th caution of this evening. This time, Brody Hanna and the newcomer Alex Tupert, which if you go way, way back into this race early on, Tupert got loose into 3 and hit Brody Hanna, put him into the wall. That gave him that damage on that right side that you noticed, Dustin. And now, with under 5 to go, we're seeing some retaliations, it looks like, once again.
Man, it's... Can you say reminiscent of the actual Cup race? You see the 94 here go to the inside. They go in, and you see a little bit of drift up right here. It looks like the 94 got loose and collected Lane Allen, who was having such a great race. And that's the unfortunate thing that, some of the drivers, they've got to be aware of is, I mean, Jeremy, you and I have been on track before. I mean, we've seen stuff happen. You know, we've sat here and, you know, bumped somebody and said, hey, I don't like the way that you were racing me, but you got to be aware that if something happens, you know, you could collect an innocent bystander in the whole situation. And, you know, that could be costly. And in this case here, it was Lane Allen. It had nothing to do with anything that was going on. I mean, and this could be just ill handling cars. But it was just bad. This is the incident that happened just laps before. I mean, that was a hard drive up the track there into the side of the 94. And that happened about a lap and a half before the incident that brought out the caution, Jeremy.
Yeah, you saw it clearly. The 94 was way up the track, and then Brody Hanna, was slow going down the straightaway. He passed him with no problem, and then Brody threw into the corner. So, I mean, this is it's not a short track. It's 1.25 miles, but it has the mentality of a short track, especially 1 and 2. You have to drive it and approach it as a short track. So, you get those tempers that flare up when you put these guys in that kind of situation, and sometimes it happens, and you're seeing it tonight with multiple drivers. It's not uncommon for a short track to produce this kind of scenario with some people. So you hate to see it, but it's just a product of racing.
Yeah. Now the fortunate thing is looking at the front nose of the 14 of Lane Allen there. I mean, it is crumpled in a little bit. We only have a number of laps left. I mean, it looks like this will factor out to be a green-white checkered. It looks like he will be able to, stay in the race, try to maintain. He's still sitting in the top 5 right now, so even with everything that happened, he's still sitting good. But our top 5, like I said, this is going to be the drivers are going to be duking it out. You see Ryan Hedrick, I got it right that time, Ryan Hedrick up in that 4th position right now. He was one of the drivers that did get fresh tires, and you had mentioned just before that caution, James Wallace having a fantastic run tonight. And he was actually starting to close in on the 25 of Tremblay to put a little pressure on him before that caution came out. Now they're going to start nose to tail there, essentially, because Richie Coy is going to be taking that high side when it comes to this restart. So the 25 is going to be starting on that inside. The 67 is going to be starting right next to him. So you can still see some potential position changes and swapping here in the top 5 just in 3 short laps.
Ryan Hedrick has fresh set of tires. He is in 4th place. So he's going to have a great advantage here starting on the top side with Richie Coy. Also on the fresher set of tires. We might see him pick off the 67 and 25 on this outside restart here, all depending on how the 25 goes to the gearbox and gets through 1 and 2 and a little bit older set of tires. So that, yeah, definitely there could be some positions changed rapidly here. I do expect Richie Coy to prevail out and get in front of the 25 off of 2 and sail off into the sunset. But that 47, don't count him out. I think he's going to be 2nd place, if not 3rd here when this thing's all said and done.
Yeah, right now, I mean, everything's in Richie Coy's hands. I mean, the man has been able to perform under pressure before. He's, him and his team have put him in the best position right now to win this race. And that's exactly what he's intended on doing, but he's got some tough competition back there, some fast drivers. You got the 25 of Tremblay, you got the 67 of Wallace, you got the 47 of Hedrick, James Wallace's teammate. So, I mean, there's a lot of drivers there. We're going to find this out here in just a few short laps, Jeremy, as that pace car is about ready to pull off.
Lap 122, so we are in FTSR overtime, 1 of 1 green-white checker. Next flag will clarify who's your winner. Waiting for the green flag to come out. Green flag is out. Great start by that 25. Checks up just enough to not pass the line before the 19. I think that's clear there. Entering turn number 1. Let's see who can be the prevailer here. Looks like the 19, of course, is going to actually put 25 put on an excellent battle here. You see the 47 take 3rd place temporarily. 6-7 looking to his inside. 25 not giving up into turn number 3.
As they're going side by side, a little bit of rubbing of the fenders here. They're going side by side into turn 3. Getting ever so close as they're going there. A little bit of contact, a little bit of wobble But again, coming off side by side off of turn 4, this is a dead heat race right now. Right there is your white flag. This race will end on the next flag being checkered. Right now, looks like Richie Coy's got that preferred line into 1 and 2. Got to try to get it to stick. The 67 to Wallace. A little bit sideways is Tremblay. Way sideways is Tremblay. Tremblay is going to go around, but that is going to leave that win up to the 19 of Richie Coy. Move the 67 of Wallace up to second. His teammate Ryan Hendrick up to third. Off of turn number 4 comes Richie Coy to claim the first inaugural race here at Worldwide Raceway at Gateway.
Matthew Tremblay almost had that thing saved. I was rooting for him getting off of turn number 2, and he had it, and then he didn't. Got loose, kicked it to the inside, kept it safe for everybody else. Super unfortunate to see that because he had a bad fast car this evening. But it did bring the 67 James Wallace to his best finish he's had in quite some time, second place. And then Ryan Hedrick found his groove, finally finds himself in third place in podium position. What a finish there between that. I'm glad the netcode did not show its face because that battle with the 25 and 19 door checking and still keeping it side by side was awesome.
It was epic. That was excellent racing for 2 solid laps. And like I said, the only thing that ended it there was the 25 getting loose off of turn 2 like that. That was the only thing that did that. And that was, again, what we had seen time and time again was just them getting back on the throttle like that. And, you know, the car just, the ass end just kicking loose. But excellent racing. That's the type of finish we would expect to see from the drivers here at Full Throttle Sim Racing.
Absolutely. As you see that classic Polish lap that the 19 Richie Coy loves to do. While he's doing that, we're going to go over your finishing results here for the inaugural race at the simulated Worldwide Technology Raceway, only on iRacing here. First and foremost, Richie Coy, you see him taking home the checkered flag after this crazy event tonight. James Wallace second, Ryan Hedrick in third, Brian Dublé fourth, Lane Allen finishes inside your top 5, Brian Bliss sixth, Josh Mayu comes back after that wreck with Nicholas Moreau and finishes in 7th, Alex Tupert 8th, Steve Loomis 9th, and the last person on the lead lap, the guy who was in 2nd place, Matthew Tremblay, finishes in 10th.
Yeah, Brody Hanna will finish in the 11th position. Josh Johnson, after the few spins that he's had and incidents that he was collected up in, rounds out in 12th. Gil Gawk in 13th, again after some amazing saves that he was able to do as well. Alex Murphy in 14th, Chuck Sweeting 15th, after he had been running up front all night there. That little slide up the track by the 19 of Coy. Again, we've seen that in 1 and 2 time and time again all race long. Tony Solari finishes in 16th. Remind you, that was a car that was on its lid, had damage on every inch of that car. Still kept it in there, finishes in 16th position. Wayne Grossi, who also ended up on his lid, finishes 17th. Chris Beck, 18th. Martin Garreau, 19th. And Nicholas Moreau, after being involved in that head-on collision with and T-bone with Brody Hanna, rounds out in 20th. 21st, Jonathan Vachon. 22nd, Matthew Vachon. 23rd, Stephen Lou Allen. And that will round out your finishing order.
And this is going to bring the start of the Martin Sports post-race show. We do have to take a quick second to switch channels so we can go ahead and talk to these drivers to get their take on tonight's crazy 13 caution event here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. See if we can get a word with Ryan Hedrick, James Wallace, and Richie Coy. We're going to go ahead and switch our channels right now, and we're going to get our interview started. All right, I think we have Ryan Hedrick available here. We're going to try to pull him in. Ryan Hedrick, third place. This is Jeremy in the Nerd TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing pretty good. What a crazy race, man. Finishing third. It looked like in the middle of the race you looks like you're hit or miss. You looks like you had potential there, but just couldn't find the way, and then things kind of fell into your lap, but then your car came on strong at the end. Tell us how'd you manage to finish in third place?
I think with the way the tire fall off was not really good comparison to real life. It was really just a race of attrition and kind of keeping that last set for when we wanted it most. So I ended up just kind of splitting it. We were having caution it seemed about every 20 laps. So once I was able to get that last set on, it was just kind of like stay out for track position, see what happens, don't get wrecked.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was probably one of the best calls you made. So tell us about that last restart. I mean, you restarted in fourth. You seen the race in action, that was going on, and you held on. What was going through your mind when you seen both the 19 of Richie Coy and the 25 of Matthew Tremblay going side by side as close as what they were for that lap and a half?
I knew the 25 had older tires, but he's really, really fast. So I knew me and Richie were on the same tire strategy. I was really just kind of focusing on beating my teammate James there, which he got me at the end. But just trying to get a clean restart, and see if I could make a move, which it didn't end up working out there. But it was a good race.
Yeah, I figured you were going to finish third for sure, but I thought you were going to do so in front of Wallace. But Wallace surprised me really and kind of held on there to his own. I knew he had fresher tires than him, but he was able to bring it home second. And Matthew was got a little loose off of turn number 2 and was able to give you that podium spot. So we're glad to be able to talk to you. It's been a minute or so since we have been able to bring you to the booth. So congratulations once again for your third place podium finish. Anyone out there watching on Nerd TV you'd love to give a shout out to?
I just appreciate you guys for doing it, and should have an interesting week off in between this week and next week. Not a week off, but you know what I mean. A lot of stuff went down in this race that should be interesting. But no, thank you guys. It was a fun race, and look forward to next week.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what comes out of this week for sure for the first race here at Gateway. Appreciate those kind words, Ryan. Go ahead and celebrate with the team, and congratulations once again.
Thank you guys.
You're welcome. That was Ryan Hedrick, your third place finisher in that DraftKings Chevrolet Camaro. I do not see James Wallace. I think he's going to be able to skip this interview tonight. So we're going to kick it straight to the man, the number 19, Richie Coy, in that gear wrench Ford Mustang. Richie, do you have a copy?
What's up, nerds?
Hey, man, congratulations on taking home the checker flag tonight for the inaugural race at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. What a crazy race. You were back of the pack. You were in front. You were passing people left and right. You had to avoid wrecks. We've seen it all here. We saw some tempers flare even for being a little bit over a mile of surface, which, don't see that too often. But, to like Sunday, if you see the real world race, things happen here. But your take on this race overall, how did the car perform? Did you think you had it going into tonight's event?
This was a nuts race. It was crazy. It runs like a short track, but it's a really, really, really fast short track. You get a lot of speed going, and when you have to lift and you get some throttle out of throttle time, I usually do pretty good. So after practice, I felt pretty good, and I was actually able to kind of stay up with the 15 there on that one run. But caution after caution, it ended up turning into a who got tires last kind of race.
Yeah, and then we've seen that under the one of the last cautions there that you elected to come down. You and Chuck Sweeting elected to come down and get fresh tires, and we made mention of that in the broadcast as well because, like we always say, I mean, history proves itself. Usually, new tires out prevails older tires like that, and we figured that right there was going to be the key with that. Now, do you feel that before that last caution came out, you were chasing down the 25 of Tremblay? Do you feel that the outcome would have been the same, or do you think that last caution is definitely what pushed it over the edge to get you that top spot for you to hold on to?
With that last group of cautions, he had about 15 lap better tires than I did. So unless he really abused them, I don't think I was going to get back to him. And even if I did, it was going to be super hard to pass him. So I used a little chicanery, waited to the last second to get into the pits. So he was past the pit road entrance. So I waited that really last second to go down. Chuck followed me down. And then I used some dirt track slide jobs to get past third and second to get the second there. And then it was just, hold on and let's see what we could do.
Yeah, it was a great call to come down pit road with Chuck and Ryan Hedrick there. just it put yourself in a great position. I knew starting in fifth place that you had a pretty good chance with the amount of laps left and you starting on the high side, like at least on that second restart. I knew you had a solid chance, and it definitely worked out in your favor. So congratulations once again. I know we've talked to you a lot, but they always give you an opportunity to thank your sponsors. Anyone that's watching in particular tonight?
I have one extra question. One extra question for Mr. Richie Coy. The man that the only driver tonight that was able to make the inside line on a restart work and take the position. How in the hell did you manage to get that to stick the way that you did?
I think everybody my initial start wasn't that great. I think everybody was starting in the first. I was starting in second, but I would only shift from second to third, and I wouldn't go into fourth. I'd let it go all the way down into turn one and third. So I didn't actually have to slow the car down a lot and then have it, downshift. So I was going into one and third, and then I would go through first and second in third gear, and then shift up to fourth going out of the backstretch. And I think that didn't upset the car a lot, and I was able to actually rotate the bottom like that. Crazy, right? I kept teasing everybody on the warm-ups. Everyone, come on, you guys want the inside. You guys want the inside. Nobody took it.
Yeah, he surprised both Jeremy and I, and when we were calling that restart, and we're like, "Well, holy shit, he's actually with them come off of turn two side by side," and we're like, "Well, there could be something here." All right.
Yeah, and it looked like Chuck got a little tight coming, and I actually talked to him after that. He got a little tight coming out of two because he was actually not shifting back down to third gear. He was in fourth, so he got tight out of two, and I was digging. But you did notice I chose the outside on the last restart, right?
Oh, 100%. I know you had some fun there with the 25 too. He was like, "You know where I'm starting, right?" And you're like, "Inside." And he's like, "No, I'm going high."
Yeah, what a race. What a tough guy he is to all them guys, 15 to 25. All them guys are so tough. It was a good hard fought race, man. I hate to see him spin coming out of two. I think we still would have been kind of side by side going into three for that last lap. So
yeah, that would have been an excellent show for sure. And hate to see it any time, but definitely secured your victory for sure, though. So, any sponsors you'd like to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
Not really. I want to thank, obviously, family and friends, my teammates, Tony's parents, if they're watching. Wanted to give a shout out to James Wallace and Ryan Hendrick for finishing second and third. Biggie and Lane also rounding out the top five tonight. That's awesome to see all those guys in the top five tonight. Good runs by everybody. Thanks to the league. I think we got a little extra work to do with admins tonight to go through all the road rage that might have happened during the event. And outside of that, thanks to you guys. I can't wait to go back and watch those, especially those last couple laps. And that's it. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Congratulations once again, taking on the W tonight for the second race of the season. Go ahead and celebrate with the team, man.
All right, guys. Thanks.
You got it. That was Richie Coy, tonight's race winner. I still don't see James Wallace, so I think this is going to bring it down to the closure part of tonight's broadcast. I always like to get thoughts on both ends. I think this was a crazy event. I think everyone could agree with that. 13 cautions. I think that sets a record for FTSR at some book, for any series in particular. I don't see that. We usually see like one or two. So it produced a quite a bit different view of this league. And, this track is new as well with the new car. There's a lot of new variables, so it's not completely unexpected to see some weirdness happen. And I'm sure they'll be able to get this thing all regrouped. But Dustin, what was your thoughts on tonight's race?
I tell you what, like I told you, the more that I race at this track and see it, the more that I actually enjoy this. And Jeremy, you know that I'm typically not a fan of flatter tracks. Not usually my cup of tea, but like Richie Coy put it the same way that you did. I mean, this has that short track mentality. I love short track racing. I love Bristol, love Richmond. I love short track racing. You've seen some of those tempers flare and everything else out there. It was definitely a good feeling. It definitely had that short track feeling. I'm excited. I hope that real life NASCAR comes back to this again next year. And I hope that these guys keep putting it in the schedule because it's a fantastic facility and the racing out there was great. The racing down to the end, I'm like Richie. really hated to see Tremblay lose it off a 2 like that, because I agree, as well as you probably do, Jeremy, that they probably would have been side by side through 3 and 4, and it would have been a dead heat drag race off of 4 to the start finish line for the finish. I mean, there's not very many tracks that can produce that type of race, and so I thought it was a good race.
Yeah, if they could kind of customize the schedules a little bit for next season, maybe they can slip Gateway back in there. Who knows? You know, there's a lot of work tonight with all the cautions, but produce some excellent racing, at least from the viewership perspective. Just anything that you thought could happen tonight, it did happen. But we're going to bring this thing to a close, Dustin. We got some quick shout outs to do before we close out. We got people out there that support us to make this happen. So, Full Throttle Sim Racing, thank you for letting us do this 2 nights a week for you, Mondays and Wednesdays. Sign up on their league, ftsr.net. Get registered. It's a great league overall. It's a fun place to race. Mach1 Performance, this sponsor for tonight's Cup race and every Monday going forward. Fabrication shop for the real life short track cars, whether it be SCCA or NASA, dirt to oval pavement stuff. The fabrication shops, that's the one to go for. Mach1 Performance. Sim Racing Points League Management System, sponsored by the Nerditudes and also the Full Throttle Sim Racing. The software is crazy of how much detail it has for full page and widget customization. So go to simracingpoints.com, check out their pricing plans, and get registered. Martin Sports, thank you for all your continued support for the Nerditudes. You head over to martinssports906.com. Got a crazy promo code SUPERNERD for 25% off anything purchased from martinssports906.com. Quick shout out to iRacing iFlag, your marshaling system that gives you up to 30 different iRacing notifications. It's a small 4x6 3D printed unit. It's going to almost complete your rig entirely. So head over to iRacing iFlag, pick yourself up one of those today. And also shout out to the Butt Kicker, especially the Gamer 2 unit. It's a standard and all sim racing immersion. Attach it to your center post of your chair, and it produces that much needed feel from the seat that the track has to offer. And go to thebuttkicker.com and see their entire product line. Shout out to Moonlight Speed Concepts as well, the official paved setup provider for the Nerditudes. Go to moonlightspeed.com and sign up on their website, pick up some of their websites. They're going to give you some much needed W's from any asphalt oval racing you do. Same thing on dirt. You're going to head over to houseofspeed.us. You're going to get registered as well. Both of those produce great setups, professional, built from the ground up, and they're going to get you wins. Guaranteed. They've got me some W's across both boards, and I'm not too good on the dirt. And if I can win on dirt, I know you guys can. So houseofspeed.us. And then Nerd Focus. You just use that code SUPERNERD for 10% off for their 2 awesome flavored drinks that they have to offer. 1 sugar-free blue, 1 sugar green. SuperNerd, 10% off, nerdfocus.com. And as you saw throughout today's broadcast, you did see that QR code on your screen. We're going to have that up for the entire month of June. Essentially, we're a part of the 60-minute gaming challenge. All it is we play games for 60 minutes a week, and we make them money. As long as you guys take out your phones and scan that QR code that pops up, boom, it's going to take you to a direct link to them. We see none of the money. 100% of it goes to the St. Jude's Hospital to help all the kids desperately in need, and they are full donation only. They're not government controlled or anything. As you all know, they are the most popular hospital in the nation, and they need your continued support. So scan that QR code every time you see it during the broadcast. All right, that's going to bring everything to a close for you tonight. Crazy race overall. Gateway is out of the picture now. Now we have road course racing coming up next week at Sonoma for the trucks this Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. That's presented by Sim Racing Points. And then on Monday on the Cup side, you're going to see them once again take it over at Sonoma. Crazy schedule. Then you see on the Cup Series, you got the Iowa after Sonoma, show another short track, and then Nashville Super Speedway, like a shorter intermediate track, and then we're off for the 4th of July, celebrate your Independence Day, and then it goes to some cookie cutters after that. But until then, we'll catch you guys Wednesday at 9 p.m. to catch the Truck Series Tackle the Road Course, first one of the season at Sonoma, or second one rather of the season at Sonoma. So until then, stay safe and get your nerd on.
Have a good one. It's not goodbye. It's just till next time.